Rhythm. Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat.
What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update, of course, on our Dallas Cowboys. But more than that, right? We're chilling, we're hanging. It is the pre-Super Bowl party.
Yeah, guys,
Here with
we're
MCF.
pre-gaming here. Super Bowl 60. Unfortunately, no Cowboys represented. DeMarcus Lawrence, former Cowboy. We could talk about the Super Bowl, but here, as you can see, the Super Bowl 60 pre-game, and that means we're gonna have some drinks to celebrate the end of the season, I guess. But it's still a Cowboys chat. You see it at the bottom. You see what Pro Bowl. You've seen George Pickens updates, new defensive coach, and coaches. Jerry Jones in the background. What he's going to do with all of that cap money. We're going to talk about all of that and more here, my Cowboys family. It's a special, afternoon pre-gaming
Yes,
Super Bowl 60.
especially after a very busy month of January. So glad to be here, chilling and hanging with the MCF fam. And of course, on your way in, do all the typical kind of, YouTube stuff, hit like, sub it up, hit the bell. You guys already know all that. But if you've been here around MCF, we don't do it solo. We have to shout out the people here who make things happen. Thank you so much to the sponsor of the quarter,
Yeah,
JD Burton.
the OG, old school. Much love to JD Burton. He is representing as for basically, January, February, March, the quarter. Shout outs to the man, JD Burton, who's our big winner from last month. And of course, don't forget the man is staying skeptical.
Skeptical
He's
fan.
got that crown on his head. He's the Cash App King. Shout outs to Skeptical Fan, which, it's the after dark kind of way, whether it's Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Much love to Skeptical Fan. So, yeah, you got those two representing there. You got JD Burton, though, representing once again with 29 points on the stream boss.
That's right.
Boss of the stream. And when you look at the gifting champion, NDN Boogie, only needed one. That's all. But that's what he got. He got one gifted membership last month. He is the gifting champion of the quarter. So shout outs to everybody. Now, we have no gifting leader since this is our first stream of 2026. Happy New Year, by the way. And Skeptical Fan is representing up there. But there is no leader right now in the Cash App side. But there is an overall leader, and it's Aussie. Shout outs to him. The reason it's him is because, we went since the last time we went live. You got to count it from it's basically doubled up for him, and he is in first place right now on this overall board. But it's a quarter, right? It's not just a month, so keep that in mind as well. This is more of a, I guess you could say a jog. But Aussie in first, John Luna in second, JD Burton, he's the sponsor of the quarter in third. Again, John Luna he's basically the sponsor of the year in 2025. So we got some greats on here. Aussie in first, John Luna in second, JD Burton in third. Don't forget some other greats like A. Lavelle and David Lara tied in fourth. The Q-Man, Justin Quarles, and Top Dog, Bay Bullies, Dwayne Broussard, and they're both tied in six with NDN Boogie this quarter. And also guys like John Simon, who doubled up on the membership side in the Navy Blue crew. Roy Strasner, the same with him, and Darren Posey. All three Navy Blue crew doubled up. Shout out to them. And now the others in the mix. Skeptical fan, always staying skeptical. Our Cash App King. He's in 12th place. Gerald Swaim in 13th, tied with Alanda Hanslu, William Burney, and Tony Wimbish. So huge shout out to them and huge shout outs to those in the star and over everything levels like Aussie, John Luna, and JD Burton 214. So shout outs on that side of things. And don't forget, it's been so long. We got to give the shout outs to those that are in the that silver level too. I'll let you do I did the star and over everything, but shout out that silver level since we usually do it every Friday for those guys.
Of course. Extra special shout out to David Lara, Justin Quarles, the Q Man. You already know him. Top Dog Bay Bully, Dwayne Broussard, the top dog. And the longest running MCF member, Mr. A. Lavelle.
Mr. Lavelle, 67 months. 67 months.
Boy.
The number one membership king here. it's Mr. A. Lavelle. So shout outs there. Now, again, I covered all the bases here pretty much. I do want to say different ways of dropping the love here today. You can see the shots over there. I'll go into that in a minute because it's 10 for me and 20 for the wife because she barely ever drinks. So twice a year, maybe you have like 2 drinks. So,
but it is a Super Bowl.
It is a Super Bowl, so there is a little bit of a festive atmosphere. Still, she's drinking. You force it to. Anyways, the point is, you see skeptical fan with that Cash App King, but I do want to say the overall different ways of dropping the love here on the YouTube side. There's the Super Chat, which is available, somehow still available there since we haven't been here for like a month and a half. But the Super Chat's one option of dropping love and support here, getting on the board and all that good stuff. Also, there is the thanks button, which guys like Citizen Z have used and others, and skeptical fans. So shout out to those guys. You also have the gifting. Jumping in the memberships. Like I just shouted out a bunch of people that are in the memberships: Navy Blue, Silver level, Star level, and over everything levels. So all those guys there. Shout out to you guys, and anybody who can jump into that. Once you're in, you can also gift memberships. So those are the YouTube ways of doing things. The gifting memberships, randomly someone gets a membership does not already have one, and it's a nice way of helping out somebody for a month and also helping out the channel. So, and you get on the board. It all counts at the top there of the board. So shout outs to every single person on that side of things. But then I call it the after dark style. Other ways outside of YouTube of supporting the channel. The way that skeptical fan kind of won last month, baby. What's different ways on the after dark style?
You have, of course, the Cash App, Money Side My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link. The Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen like a super chat would.
Yep. So there's a lot of different ways. Shout outs to Skeptical Fan for the win. Right now, nobody is in that top spot. Oh, and by the way, the quarterly jersey raffle. Yes, for the next 3 months. You know how we do this, guys. Star level gets a bonus a bonus raffle entry over everything. Gets 2 raffle entries if you're in those. Also, the quarterly winner gets another bonus entry as well. Keep that in mind. And the different ways of jumping in this thing. Of course, that seems like the only ways, but then there also is the goal. And keep that in mind there. If we get 20 drops of $5 or more through the super chats, or anyways, really, if we do hit that goal for the end of the stream, everybody who donated through there, you could have done it once, you could have done it 5 times. You'll get 5 raffle entries, and we pick 4 names out to join in this here huge quarterly raffle. So a lot of different ways to get into this thing. And we always have I call the John Luna drop. If someone drops for the whole thing and hits every single, basically the whole 20, $5 or more drops in one shot, everybody who's in drops the 5 or more and gets in that.
It's automatically
in this raffle. Everybody before and after the huge drop if it does happen. So I'll call it the Luna drop. Shout outs to him for that. And everybody else who's won jerseys here for the last, years and years and years. Now, there is a festive atmosphere. There is an option. Forget the song request. We can't do songs here. Not that kind of stream. But you can see $10 a shot at the bottom right there. That's for your boy MCF. $20 a shot if you want MCW, the wife, to do that.
To live.
Yeah. So and again, it is a pre-gaming here, so we're not gonna be live during the game, but we will be streaming here and going through some Cowboy news info and updates with you guys.
Better time to talk football than the most football of football games.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
Super Bowl.
So, baby, why don't you go and shout out the people in the chat and we can get rolling on this thing.
Of course. Aztec Aguilar 04, much love. Saying fuck the New England Patriots. We're all rooting for the
I'm
Seahawks.
going for
Yes.
Seahawks. I
Do
mean,
not want to see the Patriots get another ring.
that'd be 7. That'd be even over Pittsburgh. They have 6, and then we have 5.
Yeah.
So we can't let them get out.
No way. And always put up in your Cowboys.
Always. Go Cowboys.
12th man off grade AK. Much love. Saying big ups MCF. Cheers.
Hey,
I'll be headed for the bar and grill with the giant screen for
yeah,
the game here
he's
pretty
a
soon.
huge Seattle fan. Been a fan,
Hey,
so good luck
enjoy,
to him.
have fun, good luck.
Yeah, hope you win. Hope your guys can
Yes,
win.
do your part as a fan, right? That's what it's about. Char Batty,
Hey, Shar in the house.
hottest modest. MCF and MCW saying best wishes for a great live today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Char. Appreciate it. Thank you
Yeah,
for
we're gonna open up the
popping by,
camera.
stopping by. We have Dwayne Broussard, the top dog himself.
Yeah,
Shout out to you, man.
be the OG.
And Daniel Berry Sports Highlights
for
saying happy
DB.
Sunday. Hey,
Oh, yeah,
everyone.
he's a Rams fan. They came close. Yeah, a lot of DBs in the house. We'll see some defensive backs in this game. You can talk about Super Bowl, but I want to talk Cowboy football. Not just about
Or shout out to do here. Jeremy Betts, what's up? Saying they're back in motion, baby. Hope everyone's well and hope you're all having a great day. Hopefully everyone's having a good day, having a good time, and getting ready to go watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So come hang with us, chill with us, and baby, what's been going on with the Dallas Cowboys and everything else?
Yeah, well, first, let's say hi to everybody here.
There we go.
MCF. And I just say After Dark because I've been doing that so much. So you guys want to go and check it out there. You know what to do. You know how to go. You know how to find it. I don't really advertise that channel, but that's where I've been doing most of the streams. Our schedules have changed when it comes to your schedule mainly. So try and do those streams. We want to do them together when it comes to Cowboy streams, these kind of streams. Yeah, just kick it off. Anyways, but we did. It's been what, like a month and a half. So we did one of these streams. So we do appreciate you guys. It'll be a little more than a month and a half in between. But we will have things coming up like free agency. We're gonna have things coming up like who we're going to retain, franchise tags. I'm going to talk about that today.
See, that's how long it's been. I forgot to grab my water before the stream.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's all these things going on. Plus, of course, at the end of this quarter will be the new quarter in April will be the draft month. And I'm going to focus more on the draft.
Which, based off some of the things we're going to talk about Cowboy-wise, I'm actually excited because, remember, before the draft, there's a few other things that we need to do so we know what the heck to look for in the draft. Let me try to save the cursing for when it matters later, right?
Well, after 10 minutes,
you get my point. That's it. So what's up, Luis Ortiz? Thanks for being here. But yeah. Sorry, baby, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, I just was going to say that, we'll talk about this and more on this little back and forth today. But let me just start off with some kind of non-Cowboy news. Of course, you guys know Seattle Seahawks actually are the away team, just so you know, but versus the New England Patriots. Like I said, hopefully does not get the, 7 Super Bowl win. That would suck ass.
We kind of make it pretty clear what side we're
rooting for. And again, it's always Cowboys. I don't even root for this. I'm not rooting for nobody.
I'm still wearing my Brandon Albert
jersey. I'm still hoping for that 7-yard kick.
I said I'm committing to the bit, I guess.
Oh, wait, you did it for the whole season. So as the Seahawks and the Patriots getting off the bus, getting ready, a big day for them and their fans, we worry about our Cowboys. And some NFL news is not, again, I do want to reiterate, it was a great fucking playoffs, wasn't it? I mean, outside of the fact the Cowboys weren't there, which sucked. But it's been a great playoffs when it comes to the energy of the games, the back and forth, the close, kind of heart pounding games that were going on. I mean, to me, it was like one of the best kind of exciting playoffs I think we've ever seen in a long time, if at the very least.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool to see. Now, the Giants again. When you look at the end of the season, you look at the draft. We ended up with the 12th pick of the draft after that loss against the Giants at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But then, or was it? Yeah, it was the Giants. But then, if you look at the Packers, that was our other pick. They ended up getting booted out in the first round there, so it's a very good thing. I was happy that happened because it was
best case scenario considering the fact that they had already made it into the playoffs, so there was no helping.
But they were always they only had like 9 wins, so they were, because of our tie, made them the actual worst seeded team on all AFC and NFC. So if they were to lose, no matter if they were the first to lose or last to lose in that first round, they'd get the worst pick out of all the remaining playoff teams. So the good news is they went right to 20th. Boom. We get the 12th and the 20th pick. in the first round of the draft. But again, for me, guys, I know a lot of people like to talk about the draft. I know you just brought it up, and we might touch on it a little bit.
I just said that I want to dive deeper into it after we've discussed,
Yeah, of course.
and gotten past a few of the things that we're going to discuss.
And that's the thing is that it's very important to know that you know how many things there's in front of before we get to the draft. I know people already, and again, I don't want to like down anything out there in the YouTube streets or anything like that, but when you talk about like draft guys, who gives a fuck? I'm sorry, I'm not being. I'm trying to be like on it. Anyway, I broke the cursing streak.
That's
You know
okay.
who gives a fuck? Because we don't know who we're going to get yet in free agency, who we're going to retain on our own team. You know what I'm saying? That those are major questions to determine who you're going to end up picking. So,
And I will also point something out. The trend has been, at least the last handful of years, that coaches have had a surprising amount of say when it comes to some of the more mid-round picks from what we've seen.
yes, that is very true.
So we just brought in a whole new coaching staff
On
and
defense.
doing a few different things that, again, we're going to discuss here in a
Mhm.
second. But also, that means that Schottenheimer, I guess, is also going to have some of that influence that, our front office, as of now, historically speaking, is going to be receptive to. So, there's still so many things like what exactly is it that they're looking for?
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So I'd rather just kind of that's
we'll get
reasons
that's
why we're
I have different.
holding off
I have
on that.
maybe today I have like 10
And
steps.
yeah, and I agree with you, Luis Ortiz. Sorry, I do want to point that
Yeah.
out. He said, I keep hearing BS about Max Crosby, but I don't see that happening. Jerry Jones ain't spending all that money.
If you want to start from Max Crosby, I have nothing on it because it's just yeah, he was heard, hot mic saying we'd love to get him or he'd like to come to Dallas. It's all whether it's true or not, a true feeling. Who gives a shit? In the end, it's about making the things connect.
Yeah,
And
I'd
the
love to have a
Cowboy
Lamborghini. It doesn't mean I'm
Cowboy
going
front
to get one.
office.
Or
Do I have to remind everybody in 2026 for the first time showing this? I have to remind everybody what the fuck it's about. It's these two guys that fuck everything up. It's the clown show. So no, they're not going to make any moves for Max Crosby. I think they, depending on what we're going to do with Pickens, and we'll talk about that today. I think the Cowboys either got to go all in this year or they're gonna fail again. So and at least all in gives us a chance. So Max Crosby would make sense if the balls were there. But let me be honest, when you got these two running the show, this old guy here running the whole thing, he don't know his ass from his elbow anymore. Never really did when it comes to football. And this guy next to him, his son, Stephen Jones. These two guys here, the Joneses, are the epitome of.
Yeah. You kind of
Lose what we
forget.
lost
If
every
you
single
go
year.
in a dictionary and look up the definition of all in, that might be one thing, right? But remember that the Joneses have their own special dictionary they're using, and we have to go with what all in would mean for the Joneses in our front office. So
Yeah.
within that realm, what exactly does that look like? So
Yeah, no, I see. I
anyway.
know Ninja saying about free agency, excited for nothing to happen, and that's kind of like for me, it's like nothing. For us, nothing happens, and I understand that. No Max Crosby, nothing happens. But
Yeah.
for the Cowboys, if we get some, second name, second wave cornerback, we're good. According to the Joneses, you understand? We got to
Yeah.
look at it to their minds. That's the common sense mind. You look at the common sense mind. Of course, there's no free agency going to change. Should change what the draft is going to be.
Yeah.
But because that's the way the Cowboys roll. But if you look at what the Cowboys are going to be thinking when they get a linebacker or a corner or whatever position, a running back, that's the guy in their mind. They're drafting a guy, they'll be the 7th round. They're going to draft that position again because they feel comfortable because they think they're geniuses when it comes to getting a diamond in the rough type player in free agency. A low bottom, high ceiling type guy. Those guys usually stay with the low bottom. They usually don't get pretty high, and so then you kind of fool yourself. It's
Yeah.
fool's gold.
And it's funny because
What happens every time.
bring this up. It's not like I have any I'm going to read you an exact quote, but like we said, we know what the Cowboys have been saying, and it's really funny because CeeDee Lamb was asked, I believe, during the Pro Bowl stuff. He was kind of asked, like, "Oh, hey, how do you feel about all this talk that Pickens might get paid more than you?" He's like, "Oh, I would love that. Go get your bag, Pickens."
Yeah, and I'm going to discuss that.
I'm just saying that you would think that rivalry would be there. Even Dak made comments basically like, "I can't wait for Pickens to get his bag. He deserves it."
Yeah, and again, they're all going to go cheer him on, even if he gets more than let's say CD. Who's the number one receiver now? Or
like they're trying to start drama when everyone's here. Just like
listen,
go do your thing and keep him. Right?
They're all rich. They're good with that. I don't think they're diva-ish like that. And in fact, knowing with Pickens on the team, it makes the team on offense so much better. And you saw that this year when it comes to the offensive productivity.
Yeah.
When even somebody goes down, you still can get the points up on the board. The thing is, Two questions: consistency and then defense,
I'm gonna
and
read
that's what
these
we're
two,
going to
three
talk about.
comments, and then
Yeah, we're going to
go
get
ahead
it
and
going.
keep rolling
Let's
with the
go.
news.
Well, we didn't even start yet. We're going to get
That's what I'm
rolling.
saying. So, well, because again, it's been a while, and I want to see
Catching
what
up. We're
people are
catching
saying,
up.
right?
We're catching up.
Now, Ninja said the only thing all in is Jerry Jones's catheter.
That's on.
I hope
I
slow
forget
and
that.
no lube.
I forget that.
Sorry, did I say that out loud?
You did.
Luis Ortiz said, I've been saying the same thing as MCW. Tag Pickens, see what we pick up in the draft and how our depth chart kind of evolves next year behind Pickens, Lamb, Turpin, Tolbert. Stick Aguilar said, if Jerry really wants to win with his all-in mentality, we better get the best free agents available and then knock it out of the park
That's the
with the
thing,
draft.
though. That's the thing. I agree that's Jerry Jones going to say that. He's going to say we're all in like he did last year. And in his mind, we are all in, even though the guys we're getting are not. Kenneth Murray is not all in. You know what I mean? That's an all in, though, for Jerry Jones.
Well,
Do you see what I'm trying to say?
you know what?
Like, Jerry Jones believes he's all in.
But it backs up what I said as far as the coaches, because
Yeah.
Kenneth Murray was an
Eberflus.
Eberflus guy.
Yeah.
So if that's the case,
Eberflus is gone,
then
and
that
so is Kenneth
means
Murray.
our new coach might have more say. So back to the
Yeah.
stuff that we
Well,
actually have to talk
I
about.
actually have information on all that, and I know you don't know about this because we kind of been out of the.
Yeah, I
We've
know.
been-
Like I've been keeping up more with like what's been happening with our players. You've been keeping
Yeah.
up more with the coach
With the
stuff, just
scheme.
because honestly,
And yeah, we're gonna talk about it. That's funny. We're gonna have. We basically.
yeah,
Have,
I feel like I call a little more bullshit on some of our coaches.
I
stuff,
don't know
think, in a
what
way.
you're gonna talk about, and you don't know what I'm gonna talk about for the most part. So it's gonna be an interesting stream today because
Yeah.
we're gonna discuss things that
But it's
you know.
important to be keeping up with our Cowboys the last few
we've
weeks.
been.
I'm ready to.
I've been kind of been doing one side of things. You kind of been focusing on the other side of things. We're coming together like Power Rangers right here with you guys and get the information out. But first, not Cowboy news, but it is NFC East news. The Giants have a new coach, and he's a baller. I think he's a good coach.
Yeah.
John Harbaugh. I mean, formerly of the Ravens, of course, was fired. He accepted the job as the head coach of the Giants. Agreement was reached, deal done, set in stone. So that to me is a Cowboy effect.
That is an upgrade. That is an upgrade for the Giants.
Yeah, for the first time, I think the Giants have actually a decent coach. So that's an upgrade, and then you get guys that don't play as good this past year playing better this upcoming year.
Let's see what he can do with
Yeah.
the Giants' shitty ass front office leading the charge as well.
I mean, they still got mistakes in the front office that can still hurt them. But again, when you have a coach like Harbaugh, he's heavily involved. So that's
I know.
different.
Now, that's why I said it's no upgrade. It's
a former Cowboy coach here, chubby old Mike McCarthy. Remember him? He is now back home in Pittsburgh with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They fired Mike Tomlin, who I love as a head coach. I would have loved to have him as our head coach, but he was fired, and they replaced him with Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy, of course, grew up in Pittsburgh. He's 62 years old. Mike McCarthy, of course, won the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers with Green Bay. Now he's going to grow up. He's going to coach the team he grew up cheering for and rooting for.
Yeah, and obviously part of the hope is that he can maybe convince Aaron Rodgers as well to like come back and play maybe one more year. Mm-hmm. Sounds like the Steelers gave him a hard deadline though. I think sometime in March they're basically like, "Yo, dude, you should have get off the pot. Tell us if you're playing or not. If not, we got to move on."
Remember, Rodgers is there. Like a reminder in case you guys forgot. But Rodgers is in Pittsburgh, and now McCarthy's in Pittsburgh, so they're back together. That's how they won the Super Bowl.
Saying we'll see what happens there, but
fuck Pittsburgh now, right?
It kind of not too surprising that McCarthy, like you said, ended up back home.
Yeah,
lots of big coaching changes this year.
Yeah, no, and it makes sense. That one definitely makes sense. Now, what about another one? Now, a former Dallas player, tight end Jason Witten, who was coaching his son's high school team. They were winning championships. They went from a crappy team to a championship team.
Yeah, I think they won like 2 years in a row or some shit, right?
Oklahoma, the Sooners finalized the deal to hire former Cowboy tight end, Jason Witten. He's now officially a coach, and I would say a more realistic way.
And now
he's a tight ends coach, which is more realistic.
So now we're starting to see it, guys. Give it a few years.
The first step of Witten coming to Dallas.
No, but you know what? That's kind of the point. We always said you gotta. I don't want to say earn it a little bit, but it is nice to see that he is doing it the old-fashioned way.
He did it in high school, 2-3 years, 3 years, whatever. Now he's doing it in the big leagues, and I'll say big leagues. I say as in Oklahoma and Sooners. And tight end coach, his specialty. If he succeeds there, he'll be in the NFL as a tight ends coach, or maybe as an offensive coordinator. Or something like that.
I have to be honest, since a quick little side note, just because I saw Ninja's comment there, but it does feel like an especially different type of hell, I think, just because D-Law to me is absolutely like my Cowboy generation of players in the sense of like, I remember when he was drafted. I remember seeing all the year, like,
That's the
I was
people
there for
part.
all of it,
You
and
saw
now to
from the
see him
beginning to
here, it's
him
like,
in
yeah,
the
like
Super Bowl without
it's
us.
like this one hurts a little bit differently, especially because again, as a person, he's always been a good guy, even if he says some
Yeah,
goofy shit sometimes. Like,
yeah. I mean,
so
he's always been a solid player, but he's also, I think,
look,
used properly and in a way where he kept them healthy for the whole year and did not, overuse them like the Cowboys
you
used to
cannot
do.
deny that the Seahawks are a very well managed team, and that's the point. They don't just have very talented players; they're also really well managed.
Yeah, a
It's
head
evident.
coach,
They're in the
head
fucking Super
coach,
Bowl.
head coach 2 years. That's it. 2 years as a head coach, that McDonald guy, and that guy, and he
Yeah.
got, he knows how to use
See,
Demarcus Lawrence better than the fucking Cowboy coaching
Freddie
staff.
Palmer said D-Law was the biggest loss of the 2025 season, and no one ever talked about it. He was a great leader.
Behind the scenes, and not as like a mouthpiece for the public. He was kind of
No, but
tame,
he
but
basically
behind
like
the scenes,
he
he kept
kept
it
the
together.
defense
Yeah, I
together,
agree.
and that his leadership was missed in the locker room in a way that was pretty evident when it came to 2025. Outside of Micah's, obviously
Yeah,
explosive talent.
yeah,
So
and the way that he was gone of this team, it kind of fucked over Everfluss. Anyways, I want to go. You said defensive
yeah,
talent. Darren Woodson, former Dallas Cowboy, full time, all time Dallas Cowboy. I would say the best safety we ever had in our history. Did he make the Pro Bowl finally, baby? Darren Woodson, he make the Pro Bowl. You know if he made the Pro Bowl.
you mean the Hall of Fame?
I'm sorry, not the yes Hall of Fame. I'm sorry.
Took me. That's why it took me a
Okay,
second there.
Hall of Fame. Yes,
But I believe he did not. Again, like bullshit.
correct. He did not make it, guys. Drew
So
Brees, who got in?
because I remember that was one of the things I was watching for.
Drew Brees got in, which obviously he
Okay,
should
yeah,
get
I'm
in.
not. I'm not. Yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald definitely gets
Okay.
in. Uh, Adam Vinatieri, a kicker. I mean, he's the best kicker of all time, basically. So
Hard for me to argue against that.
Roger Craig. Again, I know you don't know who he is, but I do. And he was a fantastic running back for the San Francisco 49ers, number 33. I hated his high knees. God damn it. He killed the Cowboys multiple times. But that guy was a
Mm.
solid player for the whole time he played in the NFL. And, definitely deserves the Hall of Famer. Now, should he be over Darren Woodson? You can make a case, but he's in. And then the one I think the one that they screwed up on, they put in there Luke Kuechly. You remember Luke Kuechly from
Yeah,
the
I
Carolina
do.
Panthers? They put him in there over Darren Woodson. So
That's kind of fucked
when you
up.
look at that, I think that's a mess up there. I think that you have John Lynch in the Pro Bowl already. He's already in the Pro Bowl. I mean, he's already in the He's in Pro Bowl. He's already in the Hall of Fame. So you look at the stats we talked about it the last 3 years. Like there's no comparison. Darren
Yeah.
Woodson is so much better, much better than John Lynch. Getting into the Hall of Fame, it should be no question. But somehow Darren Woodson's still not in there as a safety. He's the Cowboys' all-time leading tackler, Darren Woodson. Still, somehow, I mean, he's in our Ring of Honor, but he's not in the goddamn Hall of Fame yet. Emmett Smith spoke about the Hall of Fame, and he went off on the NFL Hall of Fame after the most recent class was announced.
I mean, yeah, this year has had a lot of controversy.
There
Let's
was
be real,
there was
because even outside of the Woodson thing with the whole
Yep.
Belichick shit,
Well,
like
that's the thing. That's the thing, though. That Emmett Smith said Belichick should be in there as well. So when you look at the overall additions, listen, there was no doubt great additions to this year's
and that's the
class.
thing that sucks. No one's like knocking
But
them.
you know who else got snubbed? Not just Belichick and of course
Mhm.
Darren Woodson, but also Jason Witten.
That's right.
Yep. So Jason Witten, guys, snubbed. All right, 13,000 yards, 11 Pro Bowls as a tight end. That should be a first year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's a big miss right there. Reggie Wayne, Terry Holt, Terrell Suggs from the Ravens, 139 sacks, seven-time Pro Bowler over Luke Kuechly. Like I'm just saying, like that doesn't make any sense. Bill Belichick, eight-time Super Bowl champion, case closed. I mean, Robert Kraft, six-time Super Bowl champion. Darren Woodson, five-time Pro Bowler, three-time Super Bowl champion. And the stats are better than John Lynch and every safety out there, pretty much.
Yeah.
So again, and it's going to be those names I just mentioned. Some great names. Some of them, half of them, Cowboys. And after mentioning those names, you know how much harder it is now for those guys to get in next year. I want to tell you why. Because there's a bunch of new names going in to the Hall of Fame. Nominee
Yeah,
or
that
option
qualify now.
qualifies. Gronkowski, right? Adrian Peterson, Big Ben Roethlisberger, right? Richard Sherman, Antonio Brown. Although I don't think he'll get in, but Antonio Brown and others that are going to be comparable to those names. They're the ones eligible next
Yeah,
year.
that again, that does not
Make it
make
hard.
for again, not saying that this class is quote unquote easier, but it's again, all these years of being a Cowboy fan, I didn't understand it as much in those early years, but especially now in these later years, it's like, what the fuck? Or no, like, no offense, are they waiting for him to be dead? Is that it? Because like that's genuinely how it's starting to feel, that they will only award it to him posthumously,
Yeah,
and that's
it
the
feels
only
like,
way. Like
or
it
he'll have to
feels
wait until
insulting all
he
these
has to get
years.
into don't they have like they have like the legends or the old
Yeah.
people, like they have to wait 20 years for that, like Drew Pearson had to get in.
Like
Like
I don't know, something about that just feels a little bit extra fucked up. Um, but that's just my thought there, and I agree with Ninja. I agree with pretty much the opinion of most people. Once Belichick wasn't a first round thing, like that is the most like obvious and blatant one in the sense of it is so hard to argue against it. The other ones you can maybe like argue against it a little bit in some way or whatever, but this is so blatant. It's like, come on, now
to
it's
me
such
the
obvious
thing is, to me
bullshit.
it's like Belichick, Woodson, Witten. These are the other ones I kind of mentioned. There are a lot of blatant, obvious ones. It was a matter of, okay, maybe not better than
Yeah.
that guy that's already in one of the six, but I will say there's at least 4 or 5 names that's better than Luke Kuechly. That I can
Yeah.
guarantee.
So to get
Maybe
back to the little present real quick, because football fanatic, I like what
and
he's
maybe
saying.
even
He's
Roger
like,
Craig.
I think we're going to be satisfied after free agency. The front office has been talking and moving a little different.
We'll see.
So
Let's get into that because I'm going to leave the Hall of Fame back and let's get into the thing I can't make a
yeah.
mistake with, the Pro Bowl. We got a bunch of guys that made the Pro Bowl, and mainly because they got kind of added on to the Pro Bowl list.
Hmm.
But let me put it this way: first and foremost, even bigger than the Pro Bowl, these three Cowboys earned all, AP All Pro honors, which is like the highest honor you can
Yeah.
get other than winning the Super Bowl, I guess. George Pickens, Brandon Aubrey, and Cavante Turpin. Boom. See, two
Representing
special teamers, and a receiver we got for 1 year.
Yeah.
So Turpin, to me though, is a these are all second teamers. They were first teamers. They were second team, but to me, it was still crazy that he even got on the list. Turpin, not because he can't have the ability to do it. It's more like the name got him on there because,
He had a rough year.
yeah, listen, statistically speaking, he was 12th in average return yards in the NFL.
Hmm.
12th, and he's a second team All Pro honor guy. I mean, and also the Cowboys were 32nd in starting field position. That's in the returns. So that I don't know how he got in, but okay,
I'm
Aubrey
assu-
and Pickens,
I'm
it's
gonna assume,
obvious.
honestly, I'm gonna assume that they just kind of put it down to shitty special teams coaching,
Mm,
and that Turpin was basically so talented that he like helped lift it out of that
mm.
as much as he could, because
No, I know
that's
what you
the
mean.
assumption, because
Yeah,
that's the only way I could see him being on there. Like you said, he was so good that 1 year they just
so carried over from everyone. Yeah,
it's
I
the
think
only
it
thing I
carries
can think
over.
of, because
Yeah.
his name carries that much weight that you can ignore these kinds of stats. Like the only way you can
Mm,
do that is if you have someone else to put those stats on. It's got to be a special teams coach. So we'll have to see, because
mm.
obviously
Well, I'm
that's
gonna talk about
you
special
know
teams coach in a minute. You
yeah.
might I don't know if you know yet, but anyways, the thing is, there was a player who was nominated for the NFL awards, Dak Prescott, for NFL comeback player of the year. He went up against, of course, it was Dak. It was Patriots receiver
Hmm.
Stephon Diggs, Lions defensive edge rusher Aiden Hutchinson, of course, who broke his leg against us last year. The Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence and 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey. Dak Prescott did not win. He came in third place on this award. Christian McCaffrey had 31 first place votes. So Christian McCaffrey wins the comeback player of the year. And I can see that. Although Dak had unbelievable yards this year, coming back from last year's season. So Aiden Hutchinson came in second with 9 first place votes, and Dak got 6 first place votes. But 31 first place votes. Christian McCaffrey, congrats. He's the comeback player of the year. Dak, you know, nominated, top 5, top 3, obviously
Yeah.
there. So that's one part of it. Now I want to go into the Pro Bowl and kind of hit that up real quick. I covered up myself, but you can see a couple guys were already there. A couple guys were added. Jake Ferguson was added to the Pro Bowl roster. Cavante Turpin was added to the Pro Bowl roster, and CeeDee Lamb was added to the Pro Bowl roster. The thing that's interesting about the CeeDee Lamb addition
Hmm.
is that it's his 5th Pro Bowl in 6 years in Dallas. So again, it was going to be 4 out of 6.
Yeah.
Now it's 5 out of 6. It makes him look a little better if when those final career-ending numbers come in. But for the Cowboy Pro Bowlers, you see them there. Brandon Aubrey,
Like, considering the fact that he was basically hurt half the year and broken the other half, like,
yeah,
let's be real. One, it's a little bit padding the stats, but two, the fact that he's even vaguely in that consideration. we like to give CD a lot of shit, but he's a fighter,
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
so he
he's in there.
fought.
Again, name or ability. They they got he's in there with he was added in there. Cavante Turpin was added in there, and Jake Ferguson was added in there. So the total guys in here: kicker Brandon Aubrey, tight end Jake Ferguson, wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver George Pickens, quarterback Dak Prescott, left guard Tyler Smith, kick returner Cavante Turpin, and defensive tackle Quinnen Williams, the only defensive player we had in there making it. But the important thing is that's the only thing this really counts for in my mind anymore for the Pro Bowl is you got in. Congratulations, and it's good for your contract. It's good to see you're one of the top players of the year.
Yeah.
But as far as the game itself, what a piece of trash. Again, it's flag football, and you can't count stats or numbers anymore,
Like,
right?
a random fucking Tuesday. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah. It was
genuinely
a
forgot
Tuesday.
it was on
Yeah.
until halfway through the game.
The
So,
Pro
like,
Bowl final score, AFC was killing the NFC. All of a sudden, NFC scored like 20 straight points and won. So final score was NFC 66 points, AFC 52 points. Again, on
yeah.
a 50-yard field, 25-yard line.
Basically a glorified game of run and catch.
Yeah, I don't think there was one field goal attempt. So why do you even need Brandon Aubrey or a kicker for that kind of? It's not, you can't even kick a field
Yeah.
goal. I mean,
At this point, just turn it into a skills competition, air it, make it fun.
Yeah.
Have them play dodgeball at this point. I'm just saying,
They are doing it.
dodgeball might be more fun. Just saying.
So there you go. The Pro Bowl done, signed, sealed, delivered. I do want to say
and then again, they might not be allowed to throw balls.
there
at
was
each other.
one guy
At
though
each
who
other.
was the MVP of the Pro Bowl for the Flag Football Bowl, and that was this guy right here, George Pickens.
Yeah, well earned, well deserved.
1 year guy? Question mark for the Cowboys. Yesterday, late last night, I wanted to say this. We're gonna discuss this. This is one of the news parts of the show. The Cowboys. This is through Adam Schefter. Said that quote: the Cowboys are expected to place their franchise tag on this guy, on the Pro Bowl wide receiver, and of course, flag football MVP. But Pro Bowl wide receiver George Pickens. That's what the league sources have said to ESPN, to Adam Schefter. Now, a couple of things: the projected cost of any of this wide receiver franchise tag. It's fully guaranteed. Remember, guys, if he breaks his leg, he gets the full $28 million. You cannot push this over to next year. This has to be taken this year. You can't divvy it up and break it up. So it's going to be around $28 million for a franchise tag, which is a steal for someone like him.
Absolutely.
But he wanted 34 to 38 million. There's no way the Cowboys are paying that. So I said this literally at the beginning of the season. If he don't give us a third round pick after this year with a great year, which he did have, then we end up getting him on a franchise tag. We're not going to pay him more than CeeDee Lamb. It's not going to happen. And so the Cowboys are paying him. We're going to pay him 28. It's actually going to be specifically 28.064 million. It looks like to me the number that's going to be for wide receivers.
I can't forget
when it comes to a franchise tag. Hey,
0.064.
I'll take that six.
Right?
I
was going to say, like,
but the point is, he wanted 34 million plus. Now I will say this. And I think you kind of made this clear as well. It's not official yet. Why is it not official? Well, I have a reason for that. It's not official because you cannot legally franchise tag any player until about 2 weeks before, I think before the
official start of the league year or something?
No, a week before the league. It's somewhere like the 7th or 8th of March is the last chance you can franchise tag. But you have like the end of February to the beginning of March to franchise and transition tag any player on your team, on your roster.
Yeah.
That's when it will be official. That's why you will not see this officially official until the end of February. But it is going to be official. Adam Schefter is reporting on it.
This is what's going to happen.
Yes.
Like, it's already been obviously talked about, discussed, agreed, or at least that's what so there's no agreement needed. The Cowboys just have to do it.
Well, the Cowboys have to do is say franchise tag. We're doing that. We own, they own their rights with a franchise tag. Now he has a choice to say I want to sell out the season.
True,
but he lose all $28 guaranteed million, which would be dumb.
I was gonna look. He's not gonna sit out the season either, in the sense of because one of the like I said, I don't have any specific quotes, but one of the good things that Dak has mentioned these last few weeks of media stuff and things that he's been doing, he really stressed that he doesn't want to lose the momentum that the offense had throughout the season, and that they're absolutely keeping that momentum going throughout the offseason, that they plan on meeting up and that they have met up. So like, just kind of keep that in mind as well, that like, I can't, like, it's not like I have stats or numbers or he's showing little videos and stuff, but it sounds like Pickens and CD and some of the other team members that are expected to still be here, like they're talking and they're making plans to like still remain active and keep that connection going, because we know one of the big things that happened last year was that Dak really early on, like he was spending time with the receivers and with the tight ends and stuff like that, and having little throwing camps at his house and shit,
Yeah,
and did a little
right. In
retreat and
Atlanta,
stuff. So like,
they always go to Georgia.
no, but what I'm saying is that even outside of that, they were making regular plans to just kind of like, hey, like, let's keep it flowing still. So
they
it's a
have to
positive
keep it
thing that we're
together.
tagging Pickens, because again, according to Dak and what he's been saying, and what even
Well,
CD and
well,
Pickens have said, like they don't want to lose that momentum. They
right.
want to
And
carry that energy.
what you said about CD, the quote he said, basically, if Pickens makes more money than them, which he won't. Listen,
He won't,
here.
but
Well, hold on. Here's the thing, though. With a franchise tag, it's like a placeholder. They have until the middle of June or middle of July before they can still get a deal done before then.
true.
It's a placeholder, so it still could be a long-term deal. But as of right now, it's a franchise tag of $28 million that begins sometime at the
Yeah.
end of February.
And also, I just feel like, personally, knowing the Cowboys, I can't see, like, I do see the tag being the tag. Like, they're
Right,
going
it's
to
going to
try
stay
to
that
work
way.
out a deal, but I don't really
They're
see a
going to
deal
lowball him, and he's not
being
going to take a
worked
deal.
out.
The Cowboys will lowball him, and he won't take the deal. But here's the thing: I want to make two comments, and
Mhm.
that's CeeDee Lamb. You said made a comment like, let's say somehow Pickens does get more money than him.
Mhm.
He said, "quote I don't care about that. I just want my man to get what he deserves. He's
Mhm.
well deserving. He deserves every penny he gets, and if he gets more than me, then I'm going to congrats him on that." That's what CeeDee Lamb said about the situation. The diva stuff, it's love when it's within the team. Now, what about my only critique, and I'm going to say two critiques about George Pickens. I don't mind for 1 year, but the thing about being aware for keeping him on a long term deal, a lot of people want to keep him for a long term deal, but I'm going to say this: he's the kind of person that if he start, you see him losing his control, his focus, his temper in a game, and that has been detrimental in a couple of games this year. I also want to say that's one factor that kind of worries me about him long term. I don't think I think he's that kind of like a live wire. You
Yeah,
never
watch it.
know when it could throw you the whole team in disarray. Now, I'm also going to say that look at the way he ended the season. Not his attitude, but the stats. Listen to this. Since the Kansas City game on Thanksgiving, I think he had what 6 catches for 88 yards, then 5 catches for 37 yards, 3 catches for 33 yards, 7 catches for 130 against the Chargers,
Mhm.
4 catches for 78, and 1 catch for 9 yards. Now that last one I barely even
Yeah.
count, but I'm sorry, he had 4 catches for 78 yards, yeah, and 1 for 9. Still good, not bad at all. The way he's ending the season with a lot of games where he had 130, 88, 78. But then he had 37 or 33 and a 9. That's out of 6 games. He had 3 subpar games. So keep that in mind. That is it the are there other factors involved? Is it some of his own attitude? Is it some of it his own uh, out of his hands? So to me, I'm happy with a 1 year deal and seeing how things go from there when it comes to George Pickens. But I don't really see a realistic way unless we decide to get rid of CeeDee Lamb and then sign George Pickens to kind of take over the CeeDee Lamb's role. I don't see us signing both these guys, for the 35 for CeeDee Lamb and 40 he's going to want next year. You know what I mean? So that's not happening. We're not keeping this guy. He's here for 1 more year. So that's why, to me, this is an all-in type year, and not a Jerry Jones all-in, an MCF all-in type year. Anyways, uh, you know, uh,
Again,
what do you think, baby?
I
You break
think
it down for
tagging,
us.
like I said, I get that kind of simple for the most
Yeah.
part, just because tagging Pickens is the right move, by all accounts, right? And by that, I mean that we could tag Pickens and then it could still be business as usual here in Dallas. But we can also tag Pickens and then start to move the team in a better direction. And kind of like I said to Football Fanatic here in the chat, I am curious to see the direction that some of these young coaches take the team. Just because, like I said, I'm very familiar with our front office. I'm very familiar with what I am pretty sure they're going to do. You guys have been around with our draft streams and things like that, and we've hit pretty much every time, with a few exceptions here or there. But
Yeah.
for the most part, we do know our team. We know what it lacks. We know what they're looking for. We know what they do. So what exactly is going to be the flavor that these young coaches bring as far as their impact on those choices and their impact on these free agents? Because again, Pickens staying is a huge positive.
But that's a Jerry Jones
So, and like I
call.
said,
That's a
if
big
he
money
gets a
call.
long-term deal or not, that's the more interesting question. And that's why I said, I'm like, curious to see where that lands. But Pickens getting tagged now, and the fact that the one thing I will say too, which is the more positive thing, you notice that there's no faffing about, there's no playing cute. Like, we know this now. The Cowboys just kind of very out early, straight up, just confirmed, like,
Announcing, hey, we're
we're
gonna end
keeping
up
him, we're
tagging you.
tagging him. There's no getting cute.
Yeah.
So
We
I
can,
appreciate that
and they're telling
directness.
him we can maybe work out a deal, but either way, we're tagging you. The worst case, you get
So that at
28.064.
least I do appreciate, because it does feel like the typical Jerry thing would be to play a little bit more of the media circus until the official day that it happens,
Yeah.
like there'd be a lot more cute comments and stuff. It's been pretty direct that they wanted to keep Pickens, and now this comes out. So Adam
Yeah.
Schefter, very reliable. So the fact that it's coming from him, that's like you said, pretty much
Yeah,
confirmed.
it's
As good as
the
gold.
league sources to the
So
ESPN there.
Sky
Yeah.
Johnson said, I heard the Cowboys will tag and trade.
And that's another possibility too. They could do that.
So, and what's up, Sky Johnson? Much love. By the way, Jeremy Betts said, I'm going to have to take some bad with the good. Y'all, that's with anybody. You can be mature enough to be a team player more than not. With the guys around him, that's what matters. So basically, it's worth to take that chance on Pickens, because a lot of it does have to do with, again, the guys around him are helping to keep him kind of in check when it comes to some of that stuff. You pointed out his stats were not that great. He could have lost his shit at any point in time there, but he held it together and was
Towards the end.
actually,
And then he ended up like he pulled through, but it was like a 50-50 in the last 6 games.
you
Before
know,
that, it's been a great season.
and
I
that's
mean, every
but
week it
the
was
thing
a
is
great.
that was a team-wide
Right.
collapse. It
Yeah.
wasn't just Pickens
Correct.
individually.
Right.
But the fact that he managed to like basically not lose his shit completely, that's why it's so important. So, and that's what Jeremy Betts is trying to say,
Yeah,
that
I agree.
Dak and our general culture is kind of helping to keep him in a
Yeah.
better mental spot there, so
Yeah.
he's not as liable to lose his
Now,
shit. Makes us feel better about keeping him more long term, because we can help manage some of that.
I would temper the long term talk in the sense I'm just
If we
saying
wanted to, is all I'm
we're
saying.
not doing it. I don't. There's no way we can do that. That it would cost us $40 million a year next year. So again, if we do it this year, it costs us 35 a year. We'd have to pay 35 and 35
But we need
as
to
a
put
receiver.
all our chips on the table, Vegas style, if we're gonna have Pickens and Lamb on the team for only one more year.
That's what I'm trying to. I think that's the more realistic look than the pipe dream. Because how long is Dak? And this is the Dak boat coming to an end. So the Dak ship is going to end here.
Yeah.
So this is
And if
the
their
last
plan is
run.
tag and trade, then yeah, that would be a major fumble.
Well, it depends on what we get, but it depends on what we get back. But I do think it would hurt that cohesiveness and stuff you see between the offense that we have.
There's
going
no
right now with these
replacing
guys.
him on offense, so no matter what, it's just, I don't know.
We did sign somebody though on offense, a quarterback. Will Greer signed to a Cowboys reserve futures contract. Yes. Anyways,
Our future's safe,
Will
guys.
Greer with his beard and all that stuff out there, third string quarterback. That's where he's staying right there with Milton as our backup. Now, I do want to make a comment here, and we'll get back to Pickens and other guys here because I haven't got into the salary cap, to our coaching. Man, we got a little bit to go still. And I want to reiterate, I kind of redid the goal just so we could, in case you guys do want to try to hit that goal to get in that raffle for the jersey. It's gonna have to. I guess I'll have to start coming closer. I did put down the information, the exclamation point stuff there that kind of throws the information on how to drop the love or whatever you want to do. It's kind of commercial, I guess you can say here, since we did it an hour or so. We've been chilling so far. So I do want to say shout outs to the sponsor of the quarter. This is JD Burton.
That's right.
Right
Much
here,
love, JD
representing
Burton.
it. He's also representing it here at 29 points as our stream boss. Shout outs to him. Shout outs to the king of the cash out. Always staying skeptical fan with that after dark drop, with those after dark type drops, right? Cash app style. And shout outs to NDN Boogie, who is our membership gifting champion. Shout outs there. Now, also, big ups to Aussie, who is in first place currently on our overall board. John Luna, the man John Luna in second, and JD Burton in third, and the rest of the crew on that leaderboard. Nobody leading on any of the other boards, I will say, whether it's the gifting board or the Cash App board. But hey, we're doing this by quarter now since the season's over, and we'll be doing a couple of shows, at least a few shows, every quarter here. You're looking at me like wondering when I'm going to say
No,
next.
no, no. I
Sometimes two or three in a week because of the draft, for
yeah.
example. But then we might have
Yeah,
like
I
3
was gonna say
weeks. There's
I'm
no news going
I'm
on.
guessing
You know?
closer to the draft, you're gonna be seeing us a lot more.
But yeah, but don't forget, there's also that free agency. And if there's any big moves, we're talking about that here in my Cowboys family for sure. Also, of course, like I said, that star level gets one raffle
Mhm.
entry over everything gets two raffle entries for the quarterly jersey raffle. And the overall winner, like you see
Citizen Z,
here,
what's up?
Citizen Z in the
Saying,
house.
"Yay! It's National Millionaires Chasing Their Balls on a Field Day."
He loves sport ball.
Hey,
And hey, listen, the quarterly
truly the most
the
American
quarterly
holiday.
winner here, the quarterly winner, which right now, as you can see here, is JD Burton, gets a bonus raffle entry. He has a star level as well, so he's got two already in this thing for this
Hmm.
quarter of the raffle. We'll see what happens. We'll see who gets in this thing and who doesn't. Of course, we get the shots. I always got to mention that. And that does count towards the goals as well. But you see the shot, $10 for your boy
Hmm.
MCF. Oh yeah, I should have like this thing's been sitting here. Like
Is it shot or is it shots
what?
on this thing? I always
Oh,
forget how
I
to
don't
do
know
that.
if it's I don't know shots
I'll
or
try
shots. It's
both.
been sitting here for a while, but yeah, I got my
Yay!
beautiful Tito's in
Lovely.
the house, baby. I know how much you love Tito's. I got my shot glass, and this time it is
Alright,
the guy. It
shots.
is a double, but yeah, there is the shot glass there. And then again, for me, it's 10. For the wife,
Okay, it
she don't do
counts.
it. She rarely ever drinks, but if it does, it's here, and it's 20 for her, as you guys know. I just try to go over all the news and notes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um,
we actually
I've been
jumped straight into
rapping.
the football
Yeah,
stuff, and
just
then
nonstop
we're
football,
rolling for
right?
now.
So yeah, so again, those are the different ways of dropping it. Of course, super chat, thanks button, membership gifting, and of course, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, etc., etc., etc. Anyways, I guess we'll get back to it here. Um, Fines. Who's been fined the most? Most fines on a per team basis this year when it comes
Well, it
to
has to be you. You're the
the
finest.
when it comes to the not the money, but the number of times fines have been
Okay.
divvied out to the two players in the
Yeah.
league. The Cowboys have 25 fined incidents. First place in the NFL. The Eagles are second with 19.
Mm.
They had six
Hip
less They
hooray!
had six less violations. That's almost like a fifth.
Look, to be
That's
fair, I
crazy.
know
That's
that
more than
CeeDee
a
Lamb
fifth.
got fined for
Fuck.
like improper uniform or some shit at some point this year, so that doesn't somehow make it okay. I'm just trying to remind people that even that type of shit, I'm assuming, is included in these types of fines, right? Because, like,
Yeah,
I know at least once he was fined during the season for something
yeah,
with his
yeah, yeah. Something
uniform. I'm sorry,
still,
it
but
was
yeah, but
something
these things
dumb.
built up, and then the number of fines, 25.
Still, like, dumb shit like that shouldn't happen 25 times to a team in a season.
19 again, some of those are like late hits and stuff like
You
that
know?
they find them afterwards. But Cowboys had 25. The next most fined team were the Eagles. Here's the funny thing is they had 19, six less than us. That's over a fifth less than us.
Hmm.
The Washington Commanders had 18 times fined. So did the Detroit Lions. And then you had the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Giants were next with 16.
Yeah, see, he's fucking
The whole NFC
paying
East,
for paychecks
out of
out
the
here.
top six teams, the NFC East is four of them. That's crazy.
Whoops.
When it comes to the money, the Washington Commanders are fined $379,000 plus. They were number one. We were
Mm.
number two, 298,000, with the Eagles at 293,000.
So NFC East is the top three money wise.
Yep. Once again, where were the
Like
Giants?
I said, we're paying half our paychecks to these people. Like, what's going
Giants
on?
are like sixth in the list here. So they were sixth in
You know what?
fines
That's
and
just
fine
backs up.
number of fines.
You know what? That just really backs up the fact that we are just like one of the most competitive and like grimiest divisions within ourselves, like beating the shit out of each other
These are
here, guys.
shitheads in the NFC East.
Oh, so not the New England Seahawks. No, the Seattle
Who?
Seahawks.
What?
So says he's like, I know nothing about football. The New England Seahawks, no, the Seattle Seahawks. I'm
Yeah,
assuming that was a joke.
New
Unknown
England,
Ninja
yeah.
said lacrosse is for violent people who want to hit others with sticks legally.
That's he wanted the lacrosse jersey, remember? So we didn't have to
Yeah,
have the
unfortunately,
lacrosse
that one
jersey.
was a tough
Yeah,
one to
that
find.
one is impossible to find, but we probably could sew it ourselves. The thing is,
My
look at
skills extend only so far.
only too bedazzling. But yeah, we
End up
here
getting a pillowcase.
we here always win for the Cowboys, but we out of these two teams, obviously, the Patriots have six Super Bowls, the Cowboys have five in our history, and Seahawks have like one. So let the Seahawks have two. And I don't want the Patriots going from six with the Steelers to seven by themselves. Let them stay at six. Maybe we can one day catch them. Cowboys can catch them at six. Because
Which
six
is
is the most Super Bowls
that's the
by an
goal. That's the
organization.
goal.
So we want the Patriots to lose. That's what I'm rooting for. I'm not necessarily rooting for the Seahawks. I'm rooting for the Patriots to lose, which means hopefully the Seahawks win. I guess. There you go. Now I do want to say for the Cowboys, I talk about fines and dirty, grimy division that we are.
I sorry, I do have to interrupt you. One more
Go
time.
ahead.
Because you do have to take a second here. We gotta wish Kenzie Bands a very happy birthday today, man. Happy birthday.
Here.
Hope
Happy
that
birthday,
you
Kenzie.
enjoy the Super Bowl at least and have some fun there.
So
Sorry
shout
to
out the
hear that the
Cowboys.
family isn't, showing you the love that I'm sure you deserve, man. But it's your birthday.
Oh
Make the
man.
best of it. And I'm glad that somebody still reached out for you. But we got you, man. We're here, we're chilling,
Happy
we're
birthday,
live.
Kenzie.
And hopefully we do brighten up your birthday just a little bit
Talking a
for
little
you.
Cowboys. We're not doing the game, but we will be doing the pregame, which is now. So we're
Yes.
gonna, we'll probably end up having at least. I'll have at least one shot before the stream is over. Maybe I'll have one right now, actually. But before I get there, let me finish this last part of things before we get to the coaching, which is a major portion of this, and then to me the salary cap, which is how do we manage this off season, and it's a little preview of that. As we, this is an extra long stream than not today because it is the Super Bowl special stream. But I do want to show our opponents. It is important to what I'm going to talk about next. Our opponents for 2026,
Mm-hmm.
and it's right there on your screen. Obviously, the NFC East, the Washington Giants and Eagles at home and away. Washington Giants and Eagles. Those are take them off the board. You can scratch them off. Look at the other ones though. Those are the ones that will always be changing. At home, we get the Buccaneers, the Cardinals, those are two winnable games. I think there. Your Tennessee Titans underneath the Cardinals. Three winnable games at home, right? The Niners are tough. Jacksonville is tough. Baltimore could be tough. So again, pretty. When you look at the NFC East, you got the Eagles tough. So again, Commanders could be, I guess, question mark tough. Anyways, some good battles there at home for the Cowboys. On the road, outside of our NFC East opponents, the other five teams are the Green Bay Packers. Hopefully, an early game because if it's late, it's a blizzard.
Hmm.
The Seattle Seahawks. Again, it's not about the cold with them, but they don't really snow. It's more about the crowd.
Yeah.
No matter what, you can't avoid the 12th man there. The Rams, again, they could be the Super Bowl champions. The Rams, again, playing at the Rams is almost like a home game for the Cowboys. Not that big of a deal. Sorry, Daniel Barry. Uh, you have the Houston Texans, which I don't know when we beat them last. It's been two or three times before we beat them last. So hopefully on the road, an in-state rival, we can finally beat this fucking team. And then the Indianapolis Colts. I think actually we did beat the Houston Texans, but it was a close one, and they had like one win that year, and they almost beat us. So we need to beat them to the ground. I don't know if it'll be this year, but it'll be in Houston. And then the Indianapolis Colts, which I believe are beatable, although they were pretty good until they lost a quarterback this year. The Colts are on the road as well, indoor. I will say for that game, indoor for the Houston Texans game, indoor for the Rams game. So it won't snow. It'll be cold. It might be cold, but it won't snow for the Seattle game. Of course, Washington, New York, Philly, it could always snow for all those games. And of course, Green Bay could be a blizzard.
Yeah.
Depends on the win those games. But again, for the most part, half our games are guaranteed indoors on the road. So, and the other half, and all the home games, of course, home, indoor,
Yeah.
almost kind of
Let's
different.
be real. The craziest game on our schedule is going to be that international game.
And that's kind of what I wanted to discuss. So that brings me
So,
to
other than that, like you said, I mean, works out pretty well. And, other than our typical NFC East kind of things we got to watch for, everything else is pretty chill.
Yeah. So you look at our extra chill game here, which we don't know which one it's going to be yet, but guys, is the Cowboys playing in the NFL's first game ever, not in Brazil, but in the city of Rio de Janeiro. First time ever, there'll be a NFL regular season NFL game played in Rio de Janeiro. First international game for the Cowboys since we beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. You remember that game, baby, with Des
Mm-hmm.
Bryant? We beat the Jacksonville Jaguars in London over a decade ago. It was like 12 years ago. The games are going to be held in Rio de Janeiro at Maracanã Stadium, but the date, time, and Cowboys opponent have yet to be announced. So we don't know which one it's going to be. Cowboys, though, well, again, like I said, will be leaving the country for the first
Mm-hmm.
time since 2014. And the Cowboy, this is what I'm understanding. Jerry Jones's preference was that the Cowboys would be able to return to play in Mexico City. They wanted to play in Mexico because that's the
Hmm.
majority of the Cowboy fans. Large number of Cowboy fans are in Mexico. But this Cowboys opponent situation for Brazil, unknown who we're going to play against. But it's going to not. It's listen to play an NFC East team it rarely ever happens. So those you could guarantee that Washington Giants and Eagles will not be the game on the road. But it's going to be a non NFC East road opponent, in my opinion. So to me, that puts the top names on the list. You can see them there, those 6 teams: Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Arizona Cardinals, San Francisco 49ers, Baltimore Ravens, Tennessee Titans, or the Jacksonville Jaguars are the most likely obvious contenders. Those 6 teams. Now,
I feel
also,
like out of all of them, like I guess go ahead.
yeah,
You
no, go
speak.
ahead. You, all right.
Just I feel personally it's going to end up being the Jaguars for a very simple, easy reason. Their stadium's currently under construction.
Yeah.
They're about to play the next year or two, kind of as homeless stray dogs. So, unfortunately for their cats, I guess in their case. So yeah, why wouldn't they kind of quote unquote volunteer to have a game on the road like that when they're already going to have to struggle and figure out all the other game stuff since they don't have a
Yeah.
schedule?
Much love to Citizen Z representing his Navy Blue crew membership right there. What did he say with his comment?
Cracking me up. It sort of works that way, but he said, I'm a proud member of this channel. Memberships help the channel. It's less than $10 for a shit and song. Join
The
today.
shit.
A shit and song, guys.
A shot and song. A shot and song, please.
Sorry,
Well, the 10 would
I'm
be for the
cracking up
shot.
with the thought
The song would
that
be after dark.
you're paying a membership for us to go take a
The
shit.
shit. Take a shit.
The
And
shot, I just
so,
had to keep
are
saying
we gonna
it
take a
cracks me
shit
up.
and like whistle? Like we sing a song while we shit? Is that the? I thought you'd laugh at that.
I know, but
So
thank you so much,
much
Citizen Z.
love,
Thank
Citizen
you
Z.
for the typo
Giving
that made me giggle there.
he's given his February comment as his membership comment right
Yes.
there. Much love to him. Shout out to Citizen Z. One day
Promise you
we'll
there will be no live shitting on this channel.
no way. And hey, I can't say that about After Dark though. But hey, maybe one day we'll find that his jersey. What's the
Oh boy.
what's the sport
Fly fishing?
no,
Ice fishing?
no
It's
citizen
lacrosse.
lacrosse. There it is. Yes.
Sorry. You're
so
making a fishing motion,
so
not a lacrosse motion.
so anyways,
I don't even know
yeah.
what lacrosse would look like.
So anyway, no, he meant shot. He said, thank you for that for fixing that. We know you meant shot, Citizen Z. Anyways, no, I was going to say that I agree with you. I think Jacksonville makes sense, even though it is a big name there. You have Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville who made the playoffs. Top team in the AFC. So that'd be a pretty big game to be international. Usually they take like the Tennessee Titans, you know what I'm saying, or the Cardinals. No one cares about them, and they put them against the Cowboys on the international scene. But yeah, I think that's a good reason why it'd be a good kind of a win-win for the NFL to put the Cowboys and the Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence in a playoff type team
Hmm.
in Rio de Janeiro for their first game ever there, and with the stadium being kind of shit out of luck and their seating might be less people can buy tickets.
Hmm.
Guess what? You can make more money over there. NFL's going to say play in Rio de Janeiro. Damn it! Who cares about anything else? So the Cowboys will be playing in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, not knowing the date or time or the opponent yet. Hey, Pat Pfeiffer, joining that membership side of things. Shout
What's
out.
up, Pat? Much love.
The first drop of the night, I think, of the day. Pat Pfeiffer on the board. What crew is she in? The Navy Blue crew.
That's right. Representing Drop 'em. Now that you got him there. Thank you so much, Pat. Appreciate you.
It'll be updated a lot more every usually it's game wise. This is more
But hey,
but right now we're in the off season,
and not even that, but we're not representing either team on the Super Bowl, so there's nothing to
Yeah.
really.
F both these teams, but it's always that star over
So,
everything. Hey, Pat's a Cowboy fan for life. Shout outs, Pat Pfeiffer, part of the Navy Blue crew. Well,
oh, by the
fucking
way,
yeah.
Citizens, you said, well, that is actually a great idea for MCF After Dark.
What? A shit and a shot?
shit
No,
and a
no. That's over. That sounds like a wheel spin or two.
Oh boy.
It's not on camera ever, ever. And guys, by the way, we are talking Cowboy football, but we are down to talk about anything. We're chilling, we're having fun. We'll probably take a shot here. I'll say before I get to the the coaching thing, which is at the end of this kind of this discussion about
Yes.
the about the
The Cowboys, of
no
course.
about the schedule. So the thing is this is that this game is one of a record 9 international games scheduled for the NFL in 2026 for the season, which will take place across 4 continents and in 7 different countries. NFL, it's going to be in Europe. It's going to be,
Yeah.
of course, North America, Europe, South America. Now, I'm trying to think what's the other
I mean, there's
continent.
Asia, Africa,
No, but I'm saying I'm trying to think
Antarctica,
which is the other.
Australia.
They're not going to play a game in Antarctica.
I
Uh,
mean, I guess again, Australia is another one
no,
they could maybe do
do
one
they have a
day.
game there? I don't know, but
No, that's
okay.
not. So
Yeah,
obviously, North America, South America,
yeah, yeah.
Europe, and
That's and the fourth one. I'm not sure, but they said 4 continents this year. So in
well, where are
seven,
the games again?
I don't know. They didn't announce it. It's just 9 games,
Okay.
and one of 9 international games, which is a record for the NFL. Which it means
I
they
mean,
get
I'm
ready for
assuming one of them's probably in Africa
they're
then.
they're getting ready for 2028. You know what I'm saying? And that flag football. I know it's flag football, but at least there is a different kind of skill in that, which you can apply it it's perfect. It's a perfect sport for the Olympics. Not for football, NFL football fans, but it is fun. It'll be fun to watch. I
Yeah.
I hope
And
no,
it's
and I hope
very
no
American.
I hope no Cowboy players go in this thing. I hope it's just like college guys that couldn't make the NFL. And usually those guys that get to be specialized in flag football, it's not just a football player can do that. You know what I mean? It's one thing to do it. You got to be able to catch the ball. But it's another thing to know the rules of flag football. It's a bit different than NFL football.
Well,
So
look, I think it's smart because I think it's a great way to get football out there in a less, I mean, let's be real. Football also requires a lot of money, time, equipment, like
yeah,
other stuff. Like flag football,
quick.
you can play that shit on a soccer field. Boom, done.
Exactly.
Like
So
I'm
that's
just
the thing.
saying,
And that's
like
the
it's
thing.
a lot more feasible, I think, to get out there worldwide to the
Exactly.
masses.
So this is like 4 continents, 7 countries next in 2026. The NFL is trying to push, you know, and football, American football across the globe. And
Yeah.
again, in 2028, flag football will be a medal, contest, a medal
Yes.
award there for the 2028 Olympics, Summer Olympics. So also the NFL
Hmm.
has already established a presence in Brazil already, offshoring games to Sao Paulo
Hmm.
in 2024 and 2025 that drew a large crowd, successfully large crowds of international fans. So it looks like Brazil's a spot that NFL is going to keep hitting up for
Well, I mean,
for some
as much as
fan
we were kind of
bases.
guessing that the Cowboys might choose, or that the NFL might choose. Sorry, I didn't realize the camera was back on and that we were back on the screen for a second
Well,
there. Because I'm kind of
I know
watching some of this football, Super Bowl stuff,
okay.
listening to you, but just saying that overall, I kind of assumed it was going to be Mexico.
Yeah, so did I.
But it also Brazil makes sense if you're using like a very like, oh, I guess they're all Hispanic, right?
Yes.
All I'm saying is that it does
I,
actually make some sense to have the Cowboys go to Brazil, considering
I think
how
it
big of a market it is there and how big the Cowboys themselves are.
because it was a
You know,
big it was a big like a big showing. It had a
Mhm.
great big showing in 2024 and 2025 in Sao Paulo. I think because of that,
Yeah.
they said let's bring a high quality team, not the Eagles.
And another
A high
reason,
quality team. We know it works.
I know,
Let's bring the Cowboys out there.
another reason
You got to push your
also
best teams
throwing this out
out there.
there, not just your best team,
Well, the
but
most
a
visually.
Florida team, considering that a lot of Brazilians, as
Oh,
far
you
as
mean if
like
it's Jacksonville?
with the connection to the
Oh,
United States,
yeah.
Brazil does have a lot of representation here in the state of Florida. Just saying,
Yeah,
Jacksonville
but
or
I think
Miami wouldn't be a bad team,
I
but obviously
agree.
I don't think Miami's
No,
one of the teams on the
Jacksonville is
list.
one of them.
So
But you're right about that. At
Jacksonville,
the same time, though, it's the stadium on top. I think the stadium going into
I know,
construction is the bigger
is the bigger
factor.
factor, of
But they both
course.
put together make it almost a no-brainer. It should be Jacksonville, but we don't know what it is
Exactly.
yet. We don't know what it is yet. Let's
I know.
make
Now
that
we're getting
known.
closer to the Super Bowl, right? It's the Super Bowl things are kicking off. No, just saying that it's.
I'm gonna do my Super Bowl shot, baby.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's time to ask the people what they're having for the Super Bowl
Go
because
ahead. You ask them.
we
I'm gonna
always
take a
talk
shot.
Super Bowl food. Go ahead, baby. Um,
This again. We're actually we're
what's on the menu tonight, guys? Or what are we having? Honestly, we're keeping it very snacky this year in the sense of I'm just making like regular food for dinner. But we did get a few more snacks than we normally would have, so we're gonna be snacking a little bit
yeah
during the Super
5 away
Bowl.
from a
So
shot. By the way, after the Pat Pfeiffer drop, I wanted to say that.
yes,
But this is a shot I was gonna take anyway, just to say, hey,
I know.
goodbye football season. This is the last day of NFL football. Thank goodness for the Cowboys. It's a good thing as we enter the new year. Maybe number 6 for the Cowboys in 2026.
Hmm.
maybe after 30 years of not even making it to the NFC Conference Championship. Forget the Super Bowl, making it or winning it. We haven't made it to the Conference Championship. We haven't won a divisional round game.
Yeah,
Any drinks?
we haven't even known what the thought of a Super Bowl vaguely felt like.
Oh man, I gotta be careful. This is like double shots. I gotta be very careful with this.
Yeah, you have your ultra juicy cowboy shot glass.
Yeah, I know.
So
That's why I don't like using it because it's like double shots, and I got fucked up with this one here. So I am being careful this time. I'm just being
there we go. There we go, Pat Pfeiffer. Nice. She said smoke brisket and all the goodies. You see, that's what I mean. Like that's a
That's an Oklahoma
a
thing.
proper. I know, but that's
That's
a
not
proper
regional.
Super
Texas,
Bowl food.
Oklahoma, yeah, Kansas.
Some
Like,
good barbecue. Hell yeah.
yeah, they got the best there.
So
That's awesome.
Ninja said one NFL team is going to be devastated with a loss today, but nations will cheer for second and third place all week
I
long.
know. Cheers to the football season. Thank goodness it's over. But cheers to the new season, 2026, a new year. And Cowboys going for 6. After 30 years not being there, Cowboys going for 6 and beyond. Cheers.
Guaca. Oh, let me see. Come on, Citizen Z. You can afford to splurge on some Fiji for the Super Bowl.
What is this going to
He said, I'm drinking Great Value water, but for dinner, my daughter's making barbecue pork ribs.
All right, there you go.
Sorry. And by the way, that was a joke, please.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, I had to. Top 5% is 75 out here. Beautiful day. Family all the way. So
5? Damn, here it's 70. So they got us beat.
I'm freezing.
I can't. Yeah, this is too hot. For
I
me.
know, because you had to turn on the air conditioner.
It's too hot. 70 is not cold, but for her, it's freezing. Now I cannot believe Pat 5 for 75 out there. Damn. So yeah, we're still getting that cold end of the cold snap over here. I wish this thing lasted longer.
Unfortunately, actually, it is actually going to last longer. It's going to get colder next week.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I think Monday is going to be a little warm, but then back to cold.
All right. So Tuesday we get back. All right, I can deal with that. So I can do that. One day of heat, at the cold.
No,
this is very hot. Too hot.
I'm
today.
looking forward to the cold snap being snapped and our regular Florida swamp weather returning. Thanks. So,
oh god,
Ninja said it finally got above 40 where I am. Oof. So I will say, and it's something like, no, because I kept being bothered by this. Like the cold does hit different here in Florida. There is a difference because obviously up north or in colder climates,
you're more prepared.
The cold, not only are you more prepared, but like the buildings are obviously built, more based on winter conditions and summer conditions, let's say, because usually the summers tend to feel more brutal because the house isn't made to release heat. It's meant to trap heat, right? And not just that, but you have the clothes, you have the everything, like you're mentally prepared for that, and it's dry, right? The thing about winters is usually like you're dry as fuck. Your skin's dry, the air is dry, like you're lacking humidity, you're trying to humidify things, right? In Florida, what doesn't happen? Yeah. It's never not wet. It's never not damp here. Okay? So you're not just cold, you're cold and wet. And it fucking sucks. Okay? That's it.
I want you to
that was my whole
comment about the water he's drinking.
He said, I ran out of Icelandic water. pH 9 is what I usually drink.
That is awesome shit right there. I know exactly. We know it.
It sounds dumb.
Hold on. Watch this. I'm just saying, we know, but look, that's in Iceland. That is awesome. It's memorable. Yeah. One of the best things ever.
Fresh
that water is so fucking good. Have you ever had water so good in your life?
No.
Than in Iceland.
It's genuinely like the I don't know.
The best
what's the fancy champagne?
Perrier? No, Perrier's water, but Moet or
I don't know. Yeah, what exactly? There you go. It is the Cristal of waters. Okay, the Porsche of water.
How did we get from football to water?
Hey, water is a source of life.
That is true, but so is football.
And
right, Citizen Z. Football is life.
Right, 1 week ago a blizzard only in Oklahoma. I will say that is some crazy ass weather out there.
I will say though, it was 75 like 2 days ago, and then in that night it went from 75 to high. That night got to 35. I'm like, what the fuck?
I know.
Like I like the 35. I don't like the 75, and let's keep it at we'll go up to 55. All right, let's stop there. Let's not go to 75.
Yeah.
It's a 40-degree drop difference.
And Ninja, I will say it is kind of funny because I do prefer the taste of water when it comes from glass or ceramic
Yeah,
drinkware.
it makes a difference, right?
And the taste of it in stainless steel, you live with it, but I definitely don't like it's different.
Taste.
You know what stainless steel is good for? Fresh lemonade. I know it sounds crazy.
No,
Hear me out though. I used to
Yeah.
have in DR a stainless steel glass cup that I only used to drink lemonade out of. Because something about it, it stays so fresh and cold, and it's just like, oh,
I
there
know
you
what you
go.
mean.
Try. I know it sounds crazy, but try it. If you have anything, any kind of insulated drinkware or something like that, put some nice cold lemonade in there, and tell me it doesn't taste really nice. So anyway, there we go. Louis since he said, "Okay, I'm back, Minnesota. Get they back broke at home in the barn again."
Oh damn.
Oh, so there we go. Copper glass keeps the water cold without ice. You see, there we go. That's what I'm saying. Different
copper,
drinkware.
no.
Definitely, no. Oh, copper is,
Yeah.
no, copper is especially for
The
again,
taste, it's
a Moscow Mule or something. That's what I'm saying. Copper is probably similar to stainless steel in that, it probably tastes really good to drink cold citrusy things out of. So not just alcoholic. So. Oh, negative 35 to 35 in a day. Ninja, no thank you.
Damn.
No thank you.
70, this is a 70-degree change.
Look, if we're hitting single digits, I hibernate. You wouldn't see me
She ain't
again.
leaving. She just curls up in the corner.
Yeah.
By the way, JD Burton down to 27 points because of Pat Pfeiffer joining
That's
the
great. Thank
ownership
you.
there. She dropped it down from 10 to 5, so 5 away from me getting a shot. But I gotta say this, 15 for her to get a shot. That's I'm gonna leave it at that. Look, she looked at me like, why are you putting him in
Oh my goodness. Crazy. No, not just that. Since he said, I used to live 16 kilometers outside of Reykjavik. We had a natural waterfall in our backyard, and I used to drink water from that every day.
Oh man.
That sounds like something out of a storybook.
I know. Man, that is awesome. Iceland, one of the weirdest but coolest places I've ever been to. And I like it. I like the cold. And you don't like the cold, but
I was okay with it while we were there because
yes,
it was short term.
visiting, not living.
So
But
now, long term, Cowboys are making commitments here, guys. Like I said, we've had a lot of coaching shakeups, and a lot of them are young, and more surprisingly, some of them are from enemy territory.
Yeah,
so
listen, we have Schottenheimer in the house. He's our head coach. He's staying in town. Clayton Adams, he's staying there as our offensive coordinator.
Yep.
I don't want to upset you here, baby, but
No, it's okay.
our special team coordinator, he's staying. Nick Sorensen. Currently, he's still our special teams coordinator. I think that's a mistake, but we got rid of Everfluss, and now we have a brand new defensive coordinator, fresh out of Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Eagles. Is this guy right here, Christian Parker? Christian Parker, guys. About what, a week ago, week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, Cowboys announced the hiring of Christian Parker as our new defensive coordinator. Let me just go through his timeline real quick. He was at Virginia State in 2013 and 2014, defensive backs coach. So you already see his origins come in the secondary, in the coverage side of things. Norfolk State, 2015, 2016, he was there as a defensive backs coach as well. 2017, he went to Notre Dame, now a big school. Defensive analyst. So he's got the analytical kind of mindset on him there. And then he went in 2018, Texas A&M. All right, and there he was a defensive analyst as well. So 2 years of being a defensive analyst. Then he went into the NFL in 2019 and 2020 with the Green Bay Packers. He was a defensive quality control coach there. Went to the Broncos, helped make their defense incredible in 2021, 2022, and 2023. Those 3 years, he was a Broncos defensive backs coach. Now he's in the NFL, not just a quality coach or an analytics guy. He is part of the core of the defensive coaching system under Vic Fangio. In those years that the Broncos had a great defense, he's a Vic Fangio kind of lineage off of his coaching style. So, and of course, Vic Fangio was in Philadelphia. He's going to retire as their defensive coordinator. The Eagles wanted this guy, Christian Parker, as their defensive coordinator to replace Fangio.
Yeah.
We grabbed them before they could do that. So the thing is that let me say, after the Broncos and some great years under Fangio as a defensive backs coach, under Fangio. In Philadelphia, he was the passing game coordinator and defensive backs coach under Fangio. It's kind of like the Joe Witt Jr.
Yeah.
situation with Quinn. It's kind of like he finally
Yeah.
got out of there and got to be a defensive
Can we
coordinator.
expect him to have a similar type of role, or
Well-
at least have some kind
well,
of input?
So that was in Philadelphia. He was a
Okay.
passing game coordinator, defensive back coach. In Dallas, of course, he's officially our defensive coordinator.
Okay.
First time ever he's doing this as a
Okay.
defensive coordinator. So he is 34 years old, years young, I should say, and he's worked.
I love to hear it.
He's worked with Vic Fangio, as I said, in multiple stops, specifically 2021 to 2023 with the Broncos. Okay, with the Eagles, 2024 and 2025. Those are, I would say, those are the 5 years, the meat years under Fangio that he got his NFL schematic brain from. You know what I'm saying? That's where he kind of finalized things to become to this level of defensive coordinator. Defensive coach is what he is. So now he takes the reign against an NFC East rival, us. We take him from the Eagles. And I'm going to go into his scheme in a minute, but I just want to say as a whole, I said Brian Schottenheimer, our head coach, and you had our offensive coordinator, Clay Adams, special teams coordinator, Nick Sorensen, but our defensive coordinator is now Christian Parker. The departures from this team, Matt Eberfluss, of course, he was gone after 1 year, fired after 1 year here, allowing the most points in Cowboys franchise history. Aaron Whitecotton, defensive line coach, who's really good and tight with Quentin Williams.
Mhm.
He left to join the Tennessee Titans staff. Raymond Chinyoung, assistant offensive line coach, he departed and he went to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then Tyquan Underwood, he's the assistant wide receivers coach, or was with us. He was replaced by the Cowboys. He was fired. So going with the guys that had left, the biggest name I would say is Aaron Whitecotton. One of the bigger names I would say is Aaron Whitecotton. He was the guy the Cowboys really had a good kind of connection with some of our bigger name defensive linemen. But there was a chance he might stay on with Christian Parker. The answer was no. So that was part of the defensive overhaul. Andre Curtis, David Overstreet II, Dave Borgonzi, these guys are all also let go, not returning in 2026 because of Christian Parker taking over. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to give you a picture that he kind of took over the defense and he's just putting it in. He's putting his own stamp on it. So when he's not going in there and like taking 2 or 3 guys and keeping them, he's getting his guys in there. He's putting his own stamp on the defense.
Yeah.
He's getting, when it comes to the coaches, he's getting his own guys in there.
So again, I feel like that bodes positively as far as my theory of he's going to have some kind of voice or say in some of the defensive players that are going to be drafted or brought in some capacity.
Yeah.
Not saying he's picking them, just saying the Cowboys are going to listen to him.
He has a say, yes. And the thing is that Aaron Whitecotton, who left the Cowboys, he's going to Tennessee, like I said, but he's going to be a defensive line coach for the Tennessee Titans. For the Cowboys offense, like I said, there was a couple of changes, but we basically took our assistant wide receiver coach, fired him, and put in there Stephen Bravo Brown.
Okay.
That's his name. The primary change on the offensive side for the Cowboys. I think we also have a game management coordinator, Ryan Fetter, was also added into the mix there. But the main guys are on defense under Christian Parker. So let me say that the few guys he's added into this, 4 guys he added onto defense. It's pretty big. Marcus Dixon, he's the defensive line coach under Christian Parker here. Hired on February 3rd. He's a former Cowboys player who spent the last 2 years with the Minnesota Vikings. So again, defensive line coach mindset. That's all we want here. He's under Christian Parker. That's the connection there. Now, our outside linebacker coach has also been hired by Christian Parker. Chidera Duribi. He joined the Cowboys on February 4th. Pretty recent here, right? He's from the Georgia Bulldogs. He, again, newly created position on the Cowboys staff. It's important to note this. This is why I'm going to say this, because you're going to hear me talk about his scheme. Outside linebacker coach. Not just linebacker. Outside linebacker coach. That means 3-4 defense.
I was going to say, I mean, in case you needed any kind of official confirmation, this is pretty much it.
It's a newly created position because when you have outside linebacker coaches, they have a different job than the inside linebacker coach, which are used more as defensive linemen and run support inside blitzing, that kind of. So the different, they work more with the defensive line, but it's more of an interior kind of. They're part of the defensive line with Marcus Dixon. When you have an outside linebackers coach, you can have an inside linebacker coach, but the inside linebacker, he'll be working with the defensive line coach more. The outside linebacker guy is more of a coverage kind of
You know what's funny?
option.
I feel like it really plays into what you just said about CP here. I'm gonna call him CP. Oh boy, actually,
Christian Parker.
call him CP. Whoopsie. Christian Parker. CP sounds like shorthand for something not great.
Oh, I know.
My point is that it actually plays into the role that he previously played, where you said he was kind of a passing game coordinator in the
Yeah.
sense of like
The defensive
you
backs coach as
have
well.
that kind of
Yeah.
coverage aspect to the defensive coaches that are coming in.
That's
And
part of
obviously
it.
that's part of the whole 3-4 defense. It's just that
But
it's
it's more
still
of Vic
interesting to
Fangio.
see that
Yeah.
we still have a defensive coordinator that is, I guess, pass game minded in some ways, you could say.
Yes, I agree.
Like I don't know how to explain
He
it.
has the pass mind in place, but you got to remember he has the Vic Fangio schematic or mind, and that's more important. He has the defensive backs coaching. He's got the defensive game analyst coaching, so he knows the defense as a whole,
Okay.
mainly in the defensive back end covering and secondary. But the bigger thing to me is the fact that he has the Vic Fangio aggressiveness, which means you have to have good coverage. So
But again, it is definitely a little bit of a difference from, let's say, a Dan Quinn
right,
D-line
right.
focus type of defensive guy. Just kind of show
I don't
the
want to jump.
differences.
I don't want to jump the gun on that. The D-line focus.
We're speaking in big generalities here. Like I said,
Right. Well,
it's not
let me
like
let me break down the generality because the defensive line, let's say for Quinn, would be a defensive line focused on a 4-man front. So the importance is with Christian Parker with a 3-man front, we're not going to just run 3 guys. That's why the inside linebackers matter because they're going to be blitzing 5 guys total. It'll be the 3 guys plus a 2. We have 5 man. We're going to have a lot of 4 and 5-man fronts, but they're going to be done differently than we have with a Quinn type.
I will say the thought of our defense blitzing more is exciting.
Blitzing, but again, as a kind of like you have the 3 down guys, but you have the 4th guys lined up as a down lineman sometimes. Sometimes you'll be standing up. Sometimes you'll bring both guys in and blitz or have 5 guys. Listen, sometimes you have 5 guys on the line, all 5 down linemen.
Yeah.
So it'll be linebackers / defensive, edge rushers and that kind of those kind of guys. You also see outside linebackers sometimes also coming in, whether it's a blitz or run support. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of things he can do with the style of defense he runs with Vic Fangio, being aggressive, a very aggressive kind of attacking defense, but having the ability to, um, have the scheme that you can cover the holes in the defense, which I think is the important part of what Christian Park is going to do. He showed it under Vic Fangio and for the last 5 years, basically, from the Broncos to the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just finish the rest of the guys because he also has a defensive pass game coordinator. All right. Who also works with the defensive backs. His name is Derek Ansley.
Mm-hmm.
He's a former Packers defensive passing game coordinator. Ansley's going to oversee the secondary alongside Christian Parker. So, like you said, the mindset of a coach. He's our defensive coach, but he has a guy who's going to be his right hand man on defense when it comes to the passing game and worrying about the defensive backs. So he wants a hand in that. Like you said, he's a pass game guy on defense.
Like I said, I'm not really sure like the language to use to describe it, but you can see the different kind of flavor, the different focus, the different style that Parker's bringing to the table. And how we're doing things differently, not just from the last guy, but I feel like just in general,
it's an
the
overhaul.
Cowboys' defensive mindset overall.
It's a complete overhaul, which is a good thing in this situation when it comes to what happened last year. But Ryan Smith, the last guy, he's a cornerbacks coach. He was hired from the Cardinals, where he served as a defensive backs coach. These are guys that he knows, he's known, and he's brought in, but are guys that he likes what they've done and are willing to work under his schematics and his moves. The main thing about all these 4 hires, these 4 moves are heavily. They weren't picked by Jerry Jones or by Schottenheimer. They were picked by Christian Parker, heavily influenced by him. They aim to implement a Vic Fangio style defensive system. That's what my key is. It's about the defense of Vic Fangio we're bringing to Dallas through Christian Parker, a younger guy. Vic Fangio is about to retire. That's what I was trying to say. The Eagles wanted to replace Vic Fangio with Christian Parker. We snatched him from there, and now we basically helped us and hurt them at the same time. by taking Christian Parker away from them. So again, the priority from Christian Parker and the Vic Fangio style system over the systems we had in the past, the key prioritizes technical expertise.
Hmm.
It's about technical expertise over prior experience with the organization.
Hmm.
We're not going to take the guys that
Okay.
that worked here last year. We're going to take the guys that are
working now.
working now that are technically um,
Technically
experts.
sound?
Yes, they're technical experts that are going to be able to be taught
So
things
strong
within the scheme.
foundationally, I
Correct.
think is a good way of thinking of it too.
Schematically strong as well, that can handle
Okay.
different things. So when I have a couple breakdowns here on Christian Parker. By hiring
It's gonna
him,
be interesting to see then who stays and who goes.
he's one of the Vic Fangio's closest assistants with both the last 5 years, with both the Broncos and the Eagles. And so what I'm trying to say is his concepts are going to be prominent under Christian Parker. Parker also deserves the opportunity to tailor his own scheme.
Mhm.
So you're going to see some changes that are his only, not our Vic, not our Vic Fangio
Yeah.
schemes.
Again, his flavor.
Right. So again, he's going to base around the personnel he has to work with at the Cowboys roster. You just can't just mix and match guys because you're new. He's going to use some of the guys we still have here. Of course, still technical expertise over, oh, you've been here 5 years. This guy's been here 1 year, but he's technically better than you. Like with his technical abilities, his base, his foundational stuff, then he's going to start over you. I don't care about the money. I don't care how long you've been here. That's kind of his mindset. But he's going to work with the Cowboy guys on our roster, the guys we already have in place going forward, like Overshown and other guys on here, Bland. So again, the major difference though between how Fangio's defense works and how Parker's going to work in Dallas is I think a lot of it was said when we hired Parker. It was said by kind of Stephen Jones. I kind of gave us a little peek in this. He talked about contributing using 5-man fronts. That's why I said that. It's a 3-4 defense, but you run 3-4 defense usually with 4 or 5-man fronts. So you're going to see a lot of 5-man fronts. Stephen Jones spoke about that. So I see 5 men on
that outside linebacker
line.
Coach is going to be pretty much like you said, like
working
coach. Very closely with him.
No, other way around. I think the outside linebacker coach is going to be dealing with the guys that are maybe not working with the down linemen.
Okay.
He's working with the outside linebackers, which they're more like coverage guys, let's say. When you have the inside linebackers, they'll be working.
True, I guess I'm still thinking about it with our old mentality that they're like almost part of
the
front. Okay,
sorry.
So that's
When you have four, you have usually
that is going to be a weird thing to kind of change.
Well, here's the thing: usually we had 4 down linemen and 3 linebackers.
Yeah,
that was usually our thing. Let me say that. But now we're going to have the other way around. We're going to have 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers.
I know. It's just
you don't need all 4 linebackers linebacking.
That's what I'm saying. So, like it's more that part of things, like changing
it's been a while
that
since
mentality.
We had 3-4.
Not so much the 3-4 change, just that mentality of just not automatically assuming that they're with the front. Look, you get it. We just talked about it. Thank you.
That was the worst description I've ever heard in my life. Anyways, the point is here is that the Cowboys now have. The reason I think a lot of 5-man fronts are going to be, you see some 4 and 3-man fronts, but a lot of 5-man fronts with Christian Parker, not just because of Vic Fangio, not just because of Christian Parker, it's also because of who we have here. Let me explain. Quentin Richards. All right, he's a guy. I'm sorry, Quentin Williams. He's a guy that we got in here. He's going to be here for at least another 2 years, and we got him at the trade deadline. He's one of the best interior defensive linemen in the NFL. You got him. You also have Oza Odigizua here already, and he ain't going anywhere. He got a $20 million deal, unfortunately, so he's going to be here as well. Also, Solomon Thomas is here for another year. I think he's been a solid interior guy, working with the right coaches and the right players. Also, Kenny Clark. I think there's a good chance we're going to re-sign him. So when you have these, you have to think about the guys we have in here in the interior. We have a lot of big guys and maybe not enough space to play them. So now with a 5-man front, you're going to be able to use all guys. And all these guys, all the talent we have, we can actually get more use out of them instead of rotating them around or waiting till this guy, plays 10 downs the whole fucking game, 10 plays. So Christian Parker is going to help, I think, elevate those 4 or 5 guys into a system in our 4 or 5-man front. So I think that's number one. Because remember, our outside linebackers are going to be more like, they're going to be playing like the edge rushers. I'm not saying they're going to run the edge, but they're going to be responsible for setting the edge. So it's a different kind of schematic. You have to kind of think about it. It's not going to be the Marcus Lawrence setting the edge anymore. Those 4 guys are there to stop the run and pass rush. But the edge is going to be set by the outside linebacker. That's why you need a kind of a different coaching mindset for that. So, and again, every time it's going to be different. It's not a set thing, but I'm just trying to get some ideas of what Christian Parker is going to do. So when we have all these big guys there, And again, Stephen Jones kind of alluded to that we're going to be keeping all these guys. That's where I think you see these, and he spoke about 5-man fronts. I think that's why we're going to see a lot of 5-man fronts early uh, in the season, and really in kind of in the building up the schematics for the next 2 months on defense is going to be built up based off of this kind of mindset. So again, we're going to see it come out in training camp, which guys will be used, which guys are better or not for this. One of the other core principles of the Fangio defense is also to commit the numbers to coverage on the back end. So you want to have more guys able to cover. And he's
Okay.
a good guy, but knows about coverage. But that means you have to have enough pressure, which who you're sending in. If it's 3, 4, 5 guys, you got to get pressure. Because the more guys you send in, the less guys you have in the back end to cover. Fangio would like to have a lot of guys in coverage and use the 4 guys to win, or 3 guys to win, or 5 guys to win. So again, uh, it seems like the math is simple. It's about the ability to be done with the guys we currently have in this team. If a team has a dominant 4-man front, they could put as many as 7 players back in coverage. All right. With a 5-man front, the maximum coverage is going to be at least one less at 6, unless you drop one of those 5 guys, drop back in coverage, which the Cowboys have been seen to do it. A lot of teams do that with 5-man fronts. You have 5 guys in front, you don't know who's coming in, and then one drops back.
Okay.
So you're kind of confusing the quarterback, confusing the offense. That's the whole point of having 5-man fronts. You really have 4-man fronts, but the 5th guy drop backs in
Not
coverage.
trying to talk draft, but I do wonder where that puts linebacker on our list of priorities
And
for the
that's why,
draft
and that's why I want to mention
slash
that
free
stuff.
agency
It depends
stuff.
what the scheme is going to be on defense and who we're going to draft.
So that's
Yeah,
it. Just
yeah,
curious because I remember when we talked about it way back, obviously in the last stream we had, where we just kind of were talking things. I'm pretty sure linebacker was one of the positions I said I wouldn't be surprised if he drafted in the first 3 rounds.
yeah.
Just throwing it
Again,
out
no,
there.
I know that can change that
So
now. So when I look at that, I also say here that when you look at the Super Bowl and the Eagles
mhm,
with Fangio and Christian Parker, one of the biggest keys to winning last year's Super Bowl
mhm,
um, was the 4-man front was overwhelming the Chiefs at line of scrimmage. They were able to keep 7 guys back,
okay.
forcing Mahomes to throw under duress in very little space and coverage. All right. So again, when you have the advantage in numbers and 7 coverage guys, and you're still keeping, uh, you know, pressure on the quarterback, that's the goal here from Christian Parker, using a 5-man front visually,
Mhm.
but then it turns into a 4-man front and keeping 7 guys back. That is the key to this defense going forward, I believe. And especially you look at the biggest keys to the defense that he's coached in the past with Vic Fangio
Yeah.
and how they won Super Bowls with it. That's part of the routine. The Cowboys are not talking about just 5-man winning with 5-man fronts, but turning up the pressure by what I heard them say is using more exotic pressures
Hmm.
using with Christian Parker's scheme. So that means you know more than just 5-man fronts we're going to be using here. It's 3, 4, 5-man fronts. So you're not going to know we might have 6-man fronts and 2 guys dropping back.
Mhm.
You just don't know what we're going to be coming with. So it's going to be a lot of exotic pressures. Um, and I think it kind of gives you a hint of how the linebacker, you talk about linebacker, how the linebacker is going to be dealt with. You got Kenneth Murray and Jack Sanborn. They're free agents. They are Everfluss guys. They're not coming back.
And at least in Murray's case, I really, really, really hope he does
Yeah.
not come
So
back.
again,
No
when you
offense.
look at the Vic Fangio defense, he would have never got these guys.
Yeah.
Vic Fangio, and neither is Christian Parker. Is the point? So the guys are going to fill this void. They need quicker kind of linebackers like the Marion Overshow, like
Okay.
Maris Lufau, number 35. Yeah, I'm just saying. I know he had
I
a
know.
rough
It
year
just
last year, a little bit there, but getting better. But got to learn something through fire, right? My point is that right now I think that those guys are gonna get, it's gonna be an upside for those guys, and an upside for Christian Parker to have
yeah.
them at his use.
I'm really hoping that the scheme was the biggest factor in them looking as rough as they did, just because let's be real, we had a decent amount of hype for Lou Fau. We both were like,
I
really
know.
excited to finally see him back for a full healthy year, and then to have him play so lackluster. It did suck. It did hurt.
Hmm.
But he wasn't the only one,
I
right? And
agree.
you kind of said it. We're obviously going to move on from certain guys, but we're not getting rid of the whole team. And Lou Fau still has a very good chance to shine a lot more in a scheme that seems to favor his strengths, and also in a scheme where he's actually going to get played, because we have to point out the fact that Eberflus definitely had some favoritism
Yeah.
that added
Sanborn and
and contributed to the lack of good play from these other guys if they weren't getting the time or the snaps that they needed to even get good in a shitty
yeah,
scheme. Like, you get what I'm trying to say?
Everfluss made a mistake, and I don't know if we even talked about this, but he made a mistake in I think the Washington game about how many snaps that Logan Wilson was going to get. And they they forgot to put him in the fourth quarter. Everfluss.
Oh, well, see, I just forgot.
And this guy we traded for from the Bengals to try to make sure that we get, so he's going to be here. Will he be
You
utilized
gotta be
properly?
reminded about his snap count.
I mean, the guy was supposed to play the start, and they forgot to start him. And
What's
forgot
up,
to put him
Beetlejuice?
later on in the game. It's a disaster. What's up, Beetlejuice? Who, me? Okay, just checking that thing. Let's see if you knew it. Now, I do want to finish this by saying that Luafau and Overshone are both on their rookie contracts still. Okay, they're both on their rookie contracts. They both are able to blitz effectively, both guys. With also a couple of our cornerbacks, safeties, like Donovan Wilson. These guys all can blitz. They all can, they're effective when they're blitzing. Is what I'm trying to say. So the Cowboys, to me, have more pieces that work with the front seven under this scheme uh, compared to the secondary right now for the scheme. So I think the scheme might require, and that's why I said I wanted to wait on talking about who we need to get and who we need to get linebacker. I think we might need more of a cornerback fix here, a safety fix.
Well,
we
we
need
did move
coverage
on from Diggs,
fix.
and Bland is beat up still.
And I don't know what's going to happen. Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson, Wanye Thomas, Marquise Bell. These are our safeties,
Ooh.
and our corners are very weak right now. I'm hearing a lot with Christian Parker with Siobhan Ravel. Who's going to be a big help for him and his style of play. So there's some good things going to come from this, but we're going to see some guys that maybe not going to be useful for us. Those are the question marks we got to figure out. That's why I'm a little worried. The front, I think we got enough guys that kind of can. We got enough that can get a little pressure, but the back end is a little more scary, in my opinion, in this way. So again, we'll have to see what happens when we force 7 guys in coverage. They got to actually be able to know what the scheme is and do the job right. We got 7 guys in Everfluss's defense, and we couldn't stop anything or anyone. So that's the important thing. So the Cowboys are going to try to keep their defensive line depth. I'm talking about Solomon Thomas and Osa and Frank Clark and these guys. Keep them intact. And maybe even add to them, whether it's a draft pick or whatever it may be. So we can use a lot more 5-man fronts to scare defenses and make us a little more, kind of like, kind of harder to figure out. You know what I'm saying? I want to make us a little more. I'm trying to figure the word, but like, just hide.
Look, look, harder to figure out, I think, just describes it. Because honestly, most of the time we're beyond transparent. We're basically like yelling at the other team, telling them what we're going to do before we fucking do it. So a little bit of subterfuge would go a long way. A little bit of mystery, right? It's like the old adage, like you don't want to save a little bit of mystery. You want to save a little something for later.
And what I'm trying to say is, I agree with that. But the thing is that unfortunately, the Cowboys, no matter how they did this with Everfluss, it never seemed to produce stuff. Now with Christian Parker, I think it's about scheme being on the same page. If they're on there, I think that we'll see a much better defense. Even if it's not going to be, I don't know if it's going to be right away. Maybe he'll still need to find a couple guys to kind of sneak in there to see, still battles going on in training camp, for guys that are his style of players. So I think I have to wait and see on that. But right now, another player I think the Cowboys are looking to getting, and Stephen Jones mentioned it, was Jadeveon Clowney and re-signing him.
Okay.
Jadeveon Clowney is a guy the Cowboys are going to maybe bring back in.
Again, similar to Luafau in the sense of, I think that would be a good move because a lot of the lack of excitement around that felt like it had to do with scheme and also playtime. Like, I don't really remember Everfluss using him all that much.
He used him later in games. He was never a starter. I think he's going to become a guy we might want to re-sign.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and that makes sense.
So you have him, you have Escorazu on the other side. So you have both guys, and I think those are the things that that Christian Parker is going to build off of with a Clowney, Escorazu, and then the interior guys I mentioned already. You have this kind of setup here. I think we're going to see that being the at least the basis of starting
point.
Yes,
that's the starting.
The basis starting point of Christian Parker's kind of front-loaded defense.
And have a good one, Pat Pfeiffer. Enjoy. Have fun, guys. Later, we're close to wrapping things up here on our side, too. So make sure to take a second here, since this is probably going to be our last commercial break before we, quote-unquote, wrap things up here.
I got one last thing.
Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You guys can follow us anywhere and everywhere. At My Cowboys Family, of course. Hop in the Discord, link for that's in the description box down below. We can't wait to keep on talking all this Cowboy news and info and updates and all that stuff throughout these next few coming weeks. And like you said, we have some fresh things happening here in Dallas, so there's actually something to discuss that isn't wholly negative.
Yeah,
It's kind of
the
nice.
next major thing is going to be, the free the franchise tagging of George
Pickens.
Pickens, which we're telling you now is going to
Yes.
happen when the
Yeah.
franchise tag opens.
And I'm gonna throw this out there. Not saying we should be keeping a closer eye on free agency because the Cowboys are gonna somehow make a move. But with all these other coaching changes and things happening, I would just say, keep an ear to the ground, right, guys? Like, just keep your notifications on because I think that there is a potential for us to make what we would consider a bigger move, but for the NFL is maybe more of a mid-tier move. Because that to me, I feel like has a lot of potential this year.
Well,
And it's something that I think Schottenheimer and the coaching staff might be able to talk the front office into.
well, let's finish it up like this with the front office and what we're going to do with the salary cap and
Yeah.
who we're going to sign and re-sign and how we're going to move forward in
Yeah.
2026.
You can't say you don't got the money.
These two guys right now are going to sell you a bunch of bullshit about the pie and about how we can't afford guys. I don't give a fuck what they say. I'm going to tell you the facts, the truth, and how much money we can get. Now, will we get it? That's up to the Joneses. So let's start off with how I believe is going to happen. And Dak Prescott and other guys restructuring salaries. It's something. It's not up to the player. It's up to the front office. And the Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones duo always do this, and it's okay. It's in the contract for that reason. So Dak Prescott hitting the restructure in him, it goes from like 50 million to 30.9 million.
That's a big
So
deal.
that's $20 million on the cap. Boom, open just like that. Boom. So Dak Prescott, $30.9 million in a restructure. CeeDee Lamb, who's going to get what, 35 this year? No, 19.03 with the restructure. We're saving another shitload of money there. Tyler Smith, all right, to me, the best offensive lineman in the game. But all right, Tyler Smith, $17.66 million after his contract is after the restructuring. That's where he's going to drop down to us for us. He's going to save us, $8 million or something like this. So again, we're saving money there.
Shit, that practically pays for Pickens. Actually, that pays for Pickens there and still has money left over.
We're not done. Also, Digizua, who's going to get, average of 20 a year, down to 12.03 with the restructure.
Mhm.
All right, that's another 8 open there. Deron Bland, all right? Deron Bland, I don't know, he was at like 18, 17, 20. I don't know. That 8.69 with the restructure,
There we go.
which makes sense for him there. And I'll even throw in there Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson, he was at like 11, I think, a year average. I don't know what he's going to hit us this year 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He's going to hit us for 4.88 with the restructure. So these 6 moves of these 6 guys I just mentioned, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Smith, Oso Digizua, Deron Bland, and Jake Ferguson, our deal's done. We don't have to talk to the player. The front office says we're going to restructure those 6 guys. We do that. We free up around $93 million of cap space. Now, we're down 20 because we got to eat 20. I think we're going to be down 20 or 15. So, yeah, you might have to take away, we might have $75 million. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just telling you what we have opening up. We already opened up with those 6 moves. $93 million on the cap. Okay, that's move 1. What about cuts? Guys that we need to cut. Terrence Steele. I think he's going to be a cut no matter what. I have a feeling right tackle.
I agree. And
14 million, but we get down to basically it's 8.7 million is I think what we end up owing. If we do a June 1st cut for him, which we probably will, we're going to be saving about $30 more million in salary cap space.
So we basically kind of let Trayvon go and didn't wait for him to be a post-June 1st cut or whatever.
Right.
But Terrence Steele will very likely be the dude who is the post-June 1st cut to save all that extra money. Because remember, guys, that was one of the things on the table as far as Trayvon, and the Cowboys basically didn't even want to deal with all of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So again, when you look at that, and you look at, like, for example, that's why I said I'm talking about our safeties. I'll talk about Malik Hooker. Cut him $7 million save. The thing is, who are you going to get to replace him? But do you draft? Do you go with So
look, that's $7 million you can use on whoever else you're bringing in.
We brought in Logan Wilson last year. Couldn't even know how to use him. If we cut him, we get 6.55 million, $6.5 million. Brian Anger, $3.1 million. Now you can cut him, bring him back for $2 million. Just as it's an
Yeah,
option there. Jonathan Mingo, we wasted a fourth round pick trading for him.
that one sucks.
1.96 million with a cut. Now these are guys that are just like wasted players. But when you look at all these, and I say this, all these guys, and I say 30 million. I should say all these guys: Malik Hooker, Logan Wilson, Brian Anger, Jonathan Mingo, and Terrence Steele. You're going to get another $30 million on the cap. So you're getting
I mean,
93 to 123 open on the cap.
and again, that's not even counting all the money you already had.
Right. Now, what about extending some certain guys to get more of the money open on the cap for this year? Quinn Williams. All right. To me, there's no way we can let this guy go. Right now, he's going to hit us for 15.56 million on the cap. If we give him the extension, for another year or two, whatever it is, we'll get him down to 15.56. Kenny Clark, also 15.36. So if we end up saving that much money on both these guys, that's an extra $30 million we can save by extending these two veteran defensive tackles.
Yeah, because basically we can just adjust how much money they're getting paid
Correct.
this year.
So we would save 15 for each, basically. 30 million, a little over 30 million on both these guys. So by extending them for a couple more years, but that money won't hit. Again, remember about extending it. We want money. If you want to go all in, you're keeping both these guys. You're keeping them on the Christian Parker defensive line, which you need.
I was gonna say, and not even that, but it's not like they're asking for like number one guy money. That's why it makes sense to keep both of them, because they're getting paid what they're worth, and keeping them long term. We're also like, it just feels very equal on both sides. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like we're overpaying or something. Like we're getting them exactly where they're at.
Yeah,
they're known guys. And we do need that stability and consistency. And they're one of the few guys that I feel good about even considering this shit show of a defensive year.
Yeah, and that was mainly, again, I think because of the coaching. But you look at another guy on offense, George Pickens, if you get him, all right, look, $28 million for him right now would limit what we can do with him. But if we were to extend him, which I don't think we will, but if we do extend him, we could add another 10 million. If we don't, we lose 28. Which again, you're basically.
Like you said, if that's the worst case scenario, that's fine, because one, we're already going into it expecting that, and two, I'd much rather pay the little extra just to secure him in the short term than to do something long term. That
I'm adding all these things up in my mind. I'm getting to like I'm actually making it worse, but it's $80 million after the 28 million from Pickens. So you're taking it to about $80 million from about 120 from about 118 to down to 80. So now you got $80 million open on the salary cap. What are we going to use that money for? What about a couple re-signees? What about Javonte Williams, running back? I mean, we gave him like $1 million.
Yeah,
the guy played 1,000 yards. He played great for the Cowboys.
He should come.
So you give him $5 million. Is that enough to keep him? I think 5-6 million is about right. We can keep him for that much. Remember, it's not the old days anymore where you can pay these running backs 3 or 4 million, or any of these players 3-4 million. Now you're talking about 5 or 6 million is the minimum. So Javonte Williams for 5 million, 6 million, I think that's doable. Jadavian,
again, similar to what I just said about the other two guys, like we're not overpaying him. We're just paying what he's worth. Like, I think we should pay a solid player what they're worth to keep a solid player, and not have to, again, fuck around trying to figure out another piece of that's what I'm saying. We have so many things to figure out on defense. Do we really want to sit here and create holes on offense to figure out? And
that's what I'm trying to say, that Javonte Williams would help the running back, help it. I'm not saying we're done, but would help the running back situation staying the same. Jadavian Clowney, those that want him, $8-9 million is his going rate right now. So if you get Jadavian Clowney on defense to help that side, you got some young guys you're going to build around with Christian Parker, and you're going to draft some guys. You might get a free agent or two. You keep Javonte Williams on board here. I'm just saying that's another 13 million. Let's say $15 million you're spending there. So you went from 18, now you're at $65 million open on the cap after all the moves you need to make. So when I'm looking at the final numbers, right now our current cap space, we're under $32 million. So we're below $32 million. The max restructuring savings is about $93 million. I talked about this already. When it comes to Dak, the restructures we can make easily, we probably want to make them all, if not most of them. So that's $93 million. You get another $30 million with the cuts that we discussed, including Terrence Steele is the big cut. he would pay more for our rookies. Let's
Mhm.
say we want to use 10 million for rookies. He'd be paying the rookies basically. But there'd be $20 million still left over from that. So we get an overall savings of $30 million of cuts. If we do some max extensions, we will save around $30 million, which gives you about $121 million. But I'm going to take away the max extension savings,
Mhm.
and I'm going to add in there the $28 million from George Pickens. So now you got 28 million plus another 12, so $40 million. You take the 40 million away from 121. You know what I'm saying? 120.
Mhm.
So where are we at, baby? Do the math.
I
121 taking 40 million away.
81.
One. Which I said 80 off the top of my
Yeah.
head. So $81 million. Between 81 million and if we want to keep or not keep certain guys, 121 million is what at the very least we'll have about $81 million open if we wanted to for the Cowboys in 2026. And you want to keep Anger?
Mhm.
All right, so we
Which I
have
do,
$78
personally.
million we have open. You know what I'm saying? Like we still $78 million or 81 ain't gonna break our. We got, and that includes paying for all of our rookies already. That includes for paying for the guys that we extending. That the
Yeah,
guys
that
we on
includes big
everything,
contracts and everything
all the
else.
big
So
contracts, all the remaining money, the 80 million or whatever you want to call it, that is left now for free agents. That's why you go for a Max Crosby. You go for someone like that if you're going to go all in this year by putting Pickens
like
on the
like
franchise
I
tag.
said, I can't see us going for any of the real big names, right? So like we're not going after any
Max Crosby.
20 something $1 million player, but
We already are.
what about someone in like the $12 million range?
That's
And
that's
that's
better be.
and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, who is out there? And what direction are we leaning in? Just because the other thing, you kind of said it, and we kind of mentioned this here. With the potential of Terrence Steele leaving, I could see the Cowboys choosing to do that with potentially an offensive lineman.
Again. Ooh.
I
Again,
just
like
know
that.
in the sense of basically what we did for the defensive line this past year, where we were kind of surprised with the Clowney move, surprised with some of these other moves. Like, I could be surprised by the Cowboys getting more of a mid-range, already proven offensive lineman instead of drafting a guy like would be their norm, or developing one. Just throwing it
Yeah.
out there, right?
We just got
Text
ourselves the man
2005, much
Tex.
love. He said, "How far away from a shot? We're here, baby." Thank you so much for the $5 holler saying afternoon, fam. Thank you so much, Tex. Hopping in here saying hello and hi. You caught us, right towards the end here, so perfect timing
Yeah,
for that
but
shot.
now it's chill time, so it might go a little. It depends how things go. If you guys are chilling and hanging, and you want to have some drinks. We're down to have some drinks for pregame. I wanted to make sure I got the Cowboy info. You guys can ask your questions, but I did the cap information. I did the new defensive coordinator situation,
Yeah.
scheme. That's done. We talked about the Pro Bowl and the all that
Yeah,
stuff, all
so
the
now
award
so now
stuff.
I guess we get to talk about the more, I guess, like I said, fun, speculative
Well,
stuff.
let's
Where,
go.
like I said, what do you think about the fact that, if we're talking, like I said, let's keep it straightforward. If the Cowboys aren't going to get one of those big name free agents, but they're still going to go out there and spend some money on someone who's serious and more of a mid-range free agent. So like I kind of said, more around like the $12 million, $10 million, 13, like I don't know. The point is, what would you like to see the Cowboys do? And I'm not talking about specific players
I
because
know
honestly,
positioning,
I'm talking just
and
positions
again,
because what I would
based off of the.
like to
Go ahead.
see,
You go ahead.
me personally, I mean, if this is what we're doing defensively, it feels like corner is the most obvious and biggest need out of anything else that you can say on this team. It's got to be a corner,
Hmm.
right?
I think.
Maybe I guess you can argue safety, and I'm not going to disagree. I'm just saying that corner still
Well,
feels like the
I
bigger
think
priority.
off
But
the
if not,
Cowboys,
then my backup offensive line.
off the Cowboys' way of doing things from the front office, it's got to be someone like a cornerback style type player, a top corner. I know we've talked about a couple safety corner guys, safety linebacker corner guys that can. I think that's the kind of guy. I forgot his name now. He's really. Some of you guys are gonna say it in the chat, but he's I forgot his name now. Fuck, it's not Adams, but he's Grady. Grady. I don't know. You guys, some of you guys will know out there. But the point is that when we get into that more towards like the end of I'll say after free agency, we're going to talk more realistic draft picks for the Cowboys. I think that's going to be where
Yeah, like you said,
things make a
once the
difference.
window opens up, or you see people,
But I do
placing
agree.
tags on their players and making these moves, that's when we're actually going to be able to, you know, start to dive into
No,
a little bit of this.
that's when we know the first steps of things, who we keeping, who we're gonna try to grab, but also, you got to see what the money's gonna be left over for, and then you could talk about like, okay, who we gonna draft? Because what if we grab a great cornerback?
Hmm.
What if we get Jalen Ramsey? Are we gonna draft a corner?
I,
You see what I'm trying to say, though?
I,
That's when those big moves.
yes, but just
That's
not the
when
way we
that's
expect.
when
Like,
it might
for
be a
sure, we're
later
gonna get a
corner.
corner, but it'll be like a fifth-round pick. Now, unfortunately for me, it
You
looks
are a
like we
hit,
are having a
baby.
bit of a Super Bowl here. Thank you so much, Tex 2005, with a $20 holler saying, let's
Oh,
drink because I got the day off tomorrow.
brother, and you know
Oh,
what? Perfect timing because now the wife and I can take a shot together. Hers are 20.
hooray.
Hers are 20. Mine are 10.
Thank you, Tex. Like I
And
said,
Tex, we had 5 on the board already. He dropped that 5 and hit me up. By the way, you hitting those goals right there. We may have some people added to the,
that's
there'll
right.
be 4 names picked out next time we go live to see who gets in the raffle. So,
Well, I think, doesn't this bring Tex straight up to the top?
no, no,
No?
no, no, not yet. Tex is on the board. Let me see, but he is, I think he might be second. Remember, this is our
There
first
you go.
stream of,
That's
this is our
why I
first
said, I'm
stream
like, are you sure?
of
So,
2026. But yeah, definitely not because
thank you, Tex. How about this?
we have
Well,
a
you go
star
ahead
level
and do
member
that.
right there.
Let me
And
go ahead and get my chaser since,
yeah, get your
obviously,
chaser.
all I
Yes.
have here is my
Wait,
water.
we have a tie. It's a tie with John Luna. John Luna and Tex. And for second place, of course. Tex 2005. Let me make sure I
Wait, do
get
you have chocolates?
it. Should have
Yes.
it there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's there. It's there. Just making sure.
yeah, yeah. No, I know. Just there you go, guys. I'm just trying to make sure I get the updated information here. I know I got Pat Pfeiffer in the mix. I put Pat up on the board. Um, there we go. At this point of the show, you guys got all the football news earlier, hour and a half, 2 hours. Now you're gonna get a little bit of the relaxing side of things as we get ready to kick off the Super Bowl here. Pat Pfeiffer up on that board. Uh, Tex 2005 up on that board. Tex in a tie for second on the overall right now for this quarter, which we're already in the middle of. I'm gonna pour myself my shot as the wife gets over here. Oh baby, the
I'm
wife.
sorry.
This is
This
where
is
she
this is
needs.
what husbands are for.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, it was not even.
Oh my God! Stop it!
My wife has. Yeah,
That's what he said.
yeah, woman. Oh my God. By the way, after that drop right there, I just realized that there's 2 points on that right up there. JD Burton hanging on with 2 points on the stream boss. We're 2 away from someone taking that. I unfortunately, again, this is a double. I want you guys to know. I go up to the star, this line of the star, because any more than that, it's about a shot and a half right there, baby.
I'm ready.
Bring it on. I need it. I need your shot glass.
I'm going.
He said, "Let's drink." God damn.
Ready,
Hey,
steady, spaghetti Freddy.
we drink.
All right.
I know my limit. I know your limit. So we'll see if
Yes.
they get to it.
Well,
But
while I do have a late start at work tomorrow because of the Super Bowl, I do still have to get up
I don't have to get
at
up
some
early.
point.
But I
As
do
I
also
say,
have to.
you have to wake up at
What are
some
you doing, baby?
point.
There's something in.
Oh wait, yeah.
Ah. Oh my
Maybe,
love,
maybe,
my love. I think you're drunk already.
maybe. I don't know. It's like a reflex, like ooh shit. Like someone putting out a fist to like pound you, and you just like automatically, you know what I mean? Like it just you did the little cheers thing. I just started doing it.
I know. I know. I know.
Okay,
All right. Let me get my
we are
my
ready.
chaser. Let's go.
Wait.
I'm. All right. You know we don't
Okay,
do. You know what
fine.
we do here. You ready?
Also, chance, yes. Salud.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Shout out to Texas
Mm.
2005. 2 points away from taking over that top spot. Ooh. Hell yeah, baby. Let's go. Ugh. Oh, all right. That's two. Two for me, one for you. Yeah. So, I mean, we're gonna watch Super Bowl. Might as well have some fun with it.
I know. It's okay. Just I don't ever watch it for using a chaser. I don't give a shit.
Right, someone saying something about chasers? Let me see what's here.
No, it just I know it sounds funny, but I always remember Ninja who said that. And he's like, of course you guys don't drink. You always drink a chaser after your shots.
I mean, yeah.
And I'm just like, well, who the fuck? No offense, but like, who the fuck isn't? And if you're not, then like, I don't know. You're scaring
Being
me.
alcoholic?
No, I'm saying you scare me. Like that's like I don't
I
know.
could if I had to, but I'd prefer to take the chaser to not die so badly. So,
I feel like I would just
so shout outs to
say.
Tech 2005. Thank you,
What's up,
brother.
Julian? Saying Dallas rivals tier is 1, Washington, their arch nemesis. And then 1A, Philly. 3, the Giants. Always respect the Giants since the 80s. 4, Green Bay. 5, San Francisco. And then 6, Pittsburgh.
Mm.
I feel like I would
Yeah,
switch Washington with Philly.
yeah, me too. I used to hate Washington more. Yeah, that was the rivalry in the 80s when I was growing up in the early 80s. But then in the
I feel like
90s, Philly became,
Philly
Buddy
took it
Ryan,
to a
low
lower level.
class.
That's what I'm saying. Philly took it to a lower level.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I feel like it feels grimier.
Mm.
Better way of explaining it.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
My
I'm gonna have to move this
so
over for a second.
go ahead.
There you go.
Okay.
I'll be right
I'll
back.
take center stage here for a sec. Luis Ortiz said
I
that
wasn't expecting that to hit me like that.
hey, it's okay. Break the seal. Oh, but Luis Ortiz said we need pressure up front to make the back half work though, MCW. And again, this is what I mean by like defensive mindsets because like obviously it's not like we're just gonna ignore the guys up front just because we have a coach that's more, let's say, defensive back minded, right? To me it just means that that's where his main focus and specialty is going to be, the same way that, like I said, Quinn really focused on the D-line, on his front guys. Like that's the people that he had the closest relationship with. It's not to say he was ignoring, Trayvon or Bland or like the other dudes on defense. Just that's just not where he buttered his bread, so to speak. So, but I am curious to see how that ends up working out, just because, like I said, at least from a Dallas Cowboys perspective, it's going to take me a while to shift my mindset to kind of get myself used to like, oh, like that's what we're doing. It's the way we're doing it. And to even kind of see our own players that way. So, like, don't hold it against me if it takes till training camp for me to kind of remember that, oh shit, that's right. Like we are doing this, 3-4 defense style, just because very, very different than what we're used to in Dallas. And again, less about like, oh, we're running a 3-4 defense and this is a bigger deal, but more, like I said, the newer mentalities. Even if these coaches aren't the guys that get the job done, the fact that the Cowboys are finally shifting their mindset towards, let's say, a younger generation of coaches that are naturally going to bring different, new, fresh ideas to the table. Even if they are Kellen Moore puppet-like, right? By virtue of being younger, it still means that there is a chance that they might be able to bring something new and different to the table. So, and the only reason I stress the youth so much is just because obviously with Jerry Jones being who he is and Stephen Jones also being who he is and like all that stuff, it just feels like we tend to do things a little bit more old school here in Dallas when it comes to the way that we like to run our football team. I mean, one of the biggest things that we've been trying to get Jerry to understand is you're not going to get anywhere if you don't make some kind of free agent moves that pay off in a significant way. I mean, we talked about it last year. We probably will talk about it this year. And we're probably going to talk about it for a long time afterwards. But at least in the last 15 plus years, the teams that have made it to the Super Bowl, it's not just because they had Tom Brady. It's not just because they had Patrick Mahomes. It's because those teams are also being very, very aggressive when it came to not just the acquisition of free agents, but who the fuck they were keeping and signing on their team. Like, both teams are very aggressive when it came to cutting players that just were not doing it, right? And even the Eagles, you could say that the way that they found their way into as much success as they have in the last 10 years is because they were not afraid of moving on from bad mistakes, even if they were expensive, the second that they realized, oh shit, we fucked up, right? Like the Joneses, obviously, not only do we tend to double down on our mistakes, we're like, no, we're going to get as much value out of this mistake as we can instead of cutting our losses.
I agree.
So that's
the
what I
difference
mean by
between
like
them.
the philosophy
Sorry,
there.
guys, I
So
got some water.
it's okay.
But no, but
Oh, there you go, football fanatics. He's like, I'm back. I rolled the fatty. Hey, everybody's getting Super Bowl ready.
you know what it is. You know what it is.
Oh, but there you go. I'm awesome. Oh no, Ninja said the U.S. gets gold in team ice dancing.
Hell yeah.
Ice dancing or skating?
Ice dancing,
Ice
probably.
dancing.
It's ice dancing.
Ice dancing is that just dancing on the ice?
I'm assuming it has a different requirement than ice skating.
Let me check my notifications. I did not, like I said, I didn't realize that was the sport.
Do they announce it now? Do they announce?
Oh no, I see here too that we got, I think team figure skating. Okay, team figure skating.
So it wasn't ice dancing?
Okay. I thought I kind of figured, but I'm just like, hey,
Figure
maybe
skating,
they
same
added
thing.
something new to the Olympics and I just wasn't
Huh.
on the up and up. So I will say that I feel like the Olympic coverage has been a little bit lackluster this year in the sense of
Well, I
like
think
I feel like they like no, just usually I feel like I hear about it a lot more beforehand. I feel like this year
I think it's
it just went from like,
I think
oh, the Olympics are coming to like, oh, they're here.
it's the Summer Olympics are the ones people really like. The Winter Olympics is like, don't really give a shit about that one too
I
often.
guess.
From what I've been used to in my years of life here. But the thing is
I
that
feel like I don't know. I guess the way I see it, we've never been more involved in winter sports and stuff. Like I don't know. I feel more like I'm just saying. Like I feel my excitement growing more for the Olympics.
I always
Maybe
like
I'm
the
getting old.
Olympics. It's just that I always like the Olympics. It's just that the summer ones seem to be more fun. And you have soccer, you have basketball, you have track and
I
field,
know those are the
and then
more.
these ones here you have luge and curling. Like I don't give a fuck about them, but yeah, I still root for the United States and everything. So I hope we do good, and I do watch it. I just don't watch it. I think as much as I watch. I know I don't watch the Winter Olympics as much as I watch the Summer
Yeah.
Olympics. That's just me.
So
But yeah, I'm glad we did win that, and hey, I watched the hockey, watched some of the skating.
yeah.
So that's
And I
pretty good
do
stuff.
think it's kind of funny because Ninja. Imagine if a team like I know it's like imagine if Norway got swept in the Winter Olympics by like Fiji or something. Like I'm using Fiji. I don't even know if they're. You get my point. If it was a tropical country that somehow came and like just wiped the floor in some kind of Winter Olympic sport, that would be very funny. But
What you're referring to is Cool Runnings, which was the Jamaican bobsled team, and it was called Cool Runnings. They have a Jewish Israeli bobsled team that actually made it. Surprisingly, they were not expected to.
there you
They're
go.
called Shoal Runnings, and they're going to they're supposed to maybe win. You can be again. That's a warm climate. They only have like 10
Yeah,
people there.
yeah.
Unfortunately, they're getting attacked over there. I don't know why.
So let me see. World Cup is more exciting, gets more people to watch than the Olympics in general.
I
Yeah, which
agree.
honestly, like even I have to admit, I'm looking forward to the World Cup this
Oh
year.
yeah.
Like I'm
Oh
much
yeah.
like I find myself more into soccer and sports and things like that in general, and a lot of that is actually because of football. Like I'm, you know, much more into wanting to know what's going on with sports and things like that. So, hey, JD Burns got 2 points here on the stream, boss. Just throwing that out there. It's two away. Since we are gonna be wrapping it up here in a few minutes and you know, getting
Very
ready
very
to
soon. Very soon.
just saying the
Yeah.
Super Bowl's about to kick off and this is the pregame, not the game. Just kidding.
We're not gonna do a game. That's what people might not understand. So this is the pregame to the game. So yeah, and then that's it. The game starts and everyone watches in their own home. we're not gonna
Or
do
wherever you are.
we're not gonna be doing it live here. Yeah. So
Oh, so but yeah, no, just like I said, I do find myself getting more into like sports and other stuff in general because of football. So
yeah, that's you. But the
I
thing
mean,
is, I've actually lost
football is
my
the only
I've
sport I
lost
give
a
a
little
shit about.
interest about with basketball over the years, but soccer in this household, I know that we've had more interest in the soccer side of things. With the kids getting a little more interested
Hey,
in
both
the
kids, like it's funny, both kids are actually more
yeah.
into soccer than I think we were expecting them to
Yeah,
ever be.
so that's fine. That's fun. It's cool. I'm just saying, like that's still to me. I think we've got more soccer influenced and less
Well,
basketball
I mean,
influenced
U.S.
in a way.
feels a little tardy to the party when it comes to soccer stuff. So, I think a lot of that soccer fever is, not just obviously nation of immigrants, right? Got lots of people here, international, and soccer is like the most international
Well,
sport in that
that's why
way.
I think
But
of saying that
that's what I'm
more
saying.
people
Like it's
watch. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah, the
World
World
Cup,
Cup than the
that's
Olympics.
a
Yeah,
bigger deal than who wins the Summer
yeah, because
Olympics.
soccer is arguably the biggest worldwide sport. So,
Yeah, I think event wise, and I'm sorry for those people that love soccer, but I think the Super Bowl is bigger.
oh yeah,
But when it comes to like an event wise, yeah, of course the FIFA World Cup is the biggest event. Bigger than the Olympics is the FIFA World
I
Cup.
mean, like I said, if there's truly a great American holiday, it's the Super Bowl. Like
That's
this
pure
here.
American,
This
yeah. And
is
that's
yeah.
that's why I think of
There's truly nothing more American
the,
than
the
coming
next
together for a Super
the
Bowl.
next Olympics, summer 2028, the Americanness of the flag football is going to show
That's
up
gonna be pretty
there.
cool.
The thing that's cool about that is that it's it's going to be, isn't it in America next in 2028? I think it's United States.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's in LA,
yeah.
right?
So that's what I'm trying to say. It's like we're gonna, you're gonna have the Olympics in America with an Olympic, a new Olympic sport that is purely American. That's pretty cool to open it up on the big stage there for the world. Flag football in 2028. I think
Yeah.
unlike breakdancing, I think this one's going to stick. Breakdancing was taken away it was a trial in 2024. That was not a very good results there. So
Yeah.
they're going with something that you can have more tangible results and less judging, which is straight up points. Who wins? I see water polo. What the fuck? Why can't we have flag football? You know what I mean? Flag football is more fun than water polo,
Hmm. Which, by the
just
way,
as much as the Olympic sport.
before I knew what water polo was, I genuinely thought that they were like swimming horses in water and riding. Like I had no concept of what the fuck they were doing. I'm like, yeah, of course you're riding horses in a pool and like polo, hitting a ball with a stick. Like
Right, it's either-
if I'm again, what is even water polo as a concept? And then you see it and you're like, the fuck is this? But anyway, not the point. But yeah, and it just said it. That's why they're having games all over the world to make it a world event and not just like an American event. Like they are trying to push this as like
We're
a
talking about the
global thing.
NFL
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Like
Yeah, yeah.
they're trying to
Well, that's why
make this
nine international games on four different
like
continents and seven different
football is
countries.
trying to compete with football. But yeah,
100%. Yeah,
when it comes to the world stage, for sure.
yeah. I mean, that's the way you do it. I mean, you're doing it the real way here, but the flag football's going to be a whole different concept because you can throw the ball backwards and backwards and backwards, and then that person's eligible to run. It's like I was watching it in the Pro Bowl. They were using the same things we were doing,
Yeah.
and they would give the ball. They snap the ball to like Tyler Smith, and he hands it over to Dak Prescott. Now Dak can run or throw.
I think one of the bigger differences, if you're talking from just like a baseline fundamental level outside of like they're not hitting and tackling, agility, speed matter way more in flag
Ability to
football.
cut and make
Agility.
people miss.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I
Yeah, yeah.
got
No, that's what I'm saying. It's
you. Yeah.
agility. That's what
So
it is.
yeah, like offensive lineman, defensive lineman, sorry. Which sucks because that to me is one of
Man,
the
the Super
difficult
Bowl.
parts
I
of
mean,
it.
in the Pro Bowl, a couple of linemen caught touchdowns. On the goal line. And when you think about when we coached, and who do we throw at the goal line a lot? The big guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So everyone has a role to play.
So I'm just saying that,
What's more persistent? What do you
it
need
does
more?
turn into much more of a skills game when you're talking about what is it that makes flag football what makes you actually good at flag
Yeah.
football.
And we've seen that sometimes when we practiced. We had the kids practice. Remember, we'd watch them play their flag football games, like the
Yes.
adult flag football games. It's a whole different thing even
Oh
than the
yeah.
kids. I mean, it was like
Intense.
every play was a touchdown because they keep throwing backwards, backwards, backwards until someone's open. And yeah, they went back 20 yards, but then they'd run 40 yards and then they get like
And there you go.
and they have a first down, or they make one guy miss and it's a touchdown. It's
Yeah.
like every time the same thing. I'm like I hope it's not boring like that. I hope there's actually concepts
No,
and
it's
strategies.
different because remember, they're not really playing for anything.
Yeah, no,
When
he
you're
doesn't-
playing for something and you're also not, an athlete with lots of money to lose if you, twitch a toe out of place for a stupid game. Like,
exactly.
I'm just saying, like, these are going to
They're
be
playing
people
for fun.
who
This is
are
this is
playing for
the country
yes.
for
So
something more. Representing flag
they
football.
just said they're caked up in water polo. That's why it's popular. Like are we using the beach volleyball standard of popularity?
Make the ladies wear those bikinis, but
Hey, to be fair though, I
They
think
wanted that.
I was gonna say I'm very much a big fan of just like athlete choice because that's the point. Just give athletes the choice of what to wear. A lot of them do prefer wearing, the swimsuits and those types of
And the
things. That's
reason
fine.
is the
And
women
some of them do prefer being more covered up.
99% of the women rather have it that way because it's more mobile. They're able to be more mobile and move around better and slide around better
Yeah.
when they have the bikinis on. Then it's not a sexual thing, even though that's what it became. It became that from the people that are against wearing that. So yeah, it was more of a comfort for the level for the player. Now the men, I
It's
mean, I guess
it's
men could wear
it's
speedos too if
but
they wanted to, but they wouldn't feel comfortable
well,
playing that way. You know what I
it's
mean?
as simple as like basketball shorts. They didn't just turn into a style because of a style. Basketball shorts exist the way that they do because they allowed for not just the freedom of movement, but I personally think that the reason that baggier shorts are preferred in basketball is because it kind of helps hide a little bit of your movement too. Like,
Your hips.
you know, that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
just the same way that a quarterback's feet tell you where they're going. And obviously in basketball, like you're not going to be staring at people's feet and stuff like that.
No,
But
you stare at their hips, but that's what
but that's what I'm trying
their
to say.
eyes
It's just
actually tell you. But
obviously, but I'm just saying that
yeah,
their body does reveal a lot. And it's not just the freedom of movement, right? Like a little bit of the subterfuge is there with that design as well. So like that's it. Just let the ladies wear what they want.
yeah, I agree 100%. And it doesn't.
I got her polo kicked up.
It happens to be, that's the way it happens
That's the way that
to
cake
feel for. Well,
crumble.
I'm saying, well, it's for women to feel comfortable playing in a situation where they can, jump and dive and do those things. Whether it's uh, volleyball, whatever sport
Yeah.
it is. Compared to men wearing like, I mean, I don't know what the men. What are the men? They wear
I
like tank tops too, right? Like tank tops
I've
with
seen the guys wear everything from speedos to like those tight shorts to like this
speedos.
like I've some of the weird European ones too. I'm just,
I don't know.
I'm
Hopefully
just
not.
throwing it out
But you
there, but I'm
mean,
just saying that like dudes tend to wear just like the compression short type of
yeah, just like
pants.
baggier, not baggier, but
No, they tend to wear like I said, like even the guys tend to wear like for beach volleyball.
yeah, they wear like not
Like,
baggy, but they're not like
I guess
compression.
I
No,
okay.
I don't think so. I think she's thinking
You're
of the
gonna
wrong
make me
thing.
look something up that's
That's
gonna make my search history look funky, but
that's all
okay.
right. Look it up. You'll see. It's
The
I think you made a good point though about basketball, like NBA players. And back in the 80s, and before, they were tiny fucking shorts with no, and everything's
Yeah.
constricted and moving around. See what I mean? They're like regular shorts. They're
It
not
depends.
compression.
No, it depends.
They're not
Like
compressed.
it's
They're regular shorts.
no, it's a bit of again, it's a bit of a mix. Some like again, the more European ones, they tend to be shorter and tighter,
Yeah, but
and
they
the
all are
more
still shorts. Is my
yeah,
point.
they're just
They're
shorts for
not
the
like
most part.
compression tight. And you see the packages and shit. It ain't gonna be like that. They were what they have is just shorts. It's
Oh, you can
shorts.
see a few of them are wearing compression shorts underneath their things.
Yes,
So
that's
like
true. But they're not. But they have the shorts on top.
yeah.
Look, the point is that's the way they are used to wearing it. They feel comfortable. They're not gonna wear
And yeah,
speedos.
some men you see them with tank tops on, some of
Right.
them don't.
Right. So that's the thing is that, and some of them feel better without tank tops. Tank tops. Hey, they caked up for you. You're saying, but no, I'm just saying is that.
That's the water polo.
Listen, what I'm trying to say is that some of these guys might have their shirts off. What's that? Are we gonna not let them wear their shirts because they feel comfortable playing that way? But some chick might pass out because he's ripped. You understand? I'm trying to look at
I
it from
got
all senses.
I know.
Like the chicks are in there and they got their bikinis. They're sliding up their ass. But they're sliding around. Hold on, but they're sliding around, diving and making plays and winning gold medals. And they feel comfortable. If they were going to wear shit that's going to cover them, they might not win the
I
gold
know.
medal.
Again, like I said, it's about the choice. So they
Choice.
don't make the men. They don't make
Pro-choice.
the men wear speedos. They don't force them
They
to wear
could if they
speedos.
wanted to.
I guess they could.
That
Now,
would that would make it an uncomfortable game for them. They wouldn't
for
be able to play,
everybody, I'm sure.
especially for us. If we were watching, which I would not be. That'd be like, all right, just give me what the results are. I'm the speedo team.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, with that said, I can't think of a better way to end the stream than to send it off with the speedo
Yeah, hey,
team, I
listen,
guess.
2 points
The big
left
bulge.
for JD Burden. JD Burden got 2 more points on that stream, boss. Just keep holding it down for at least another week, or I don't know how long it's going to be till we go live again.
Yes,
So,
hopefully you guys see you guys sooner rather than later, schedules allowing.
yes, depending on the schedule, and again, depending on time, that's where you hit the like and subscribe and notification bell onto all videos so you know what we're dropping, when we're dropping it, et cetera, et cetera. So, anyways, another shout out here, not just JD Burton there with 2 points in the stream bus. He's our sponsor of the quarter.
That's right.
Huge shout outs to him. He gets the bonus raffle entry. And also the king of the Cash App here, Skeptical Fan.
Always stay skeptical.
Yes, he's the Cash App king. Shout outs to him. NDN Boogie, gifting membership champion. You see at top right now, Aussie in first place with Tex, tied for second with John Luna and JD Burton there. Actually, be fourth when I fixed the board there. But shout outs to the leaderboard there as well. Nobody leading in the Cash App side, no one leading in the gifting side, but JD Burton holding it down with 2 points in the stream boss. He's representing sponsor of the quarter, fourth place overall. He's shown out here, along with Skeptical Fan and along with first place Aussie, who's on the top spot. Tex with the drops today, with Pat Pfeiffer joining the Navy Blue Crew membership. Thank you. Citizen Z with his comment. Thank you, as well as monthly comment. And everybody else who's in the chat. Maybe you want to do some shout outs on who's in the house.
Unknown Ninja said, y'all better do some Summer Olympic coverage. So, hey, honestly, we're probably going to have a lot more fun
That's 2
here
years from now.
on the MCF side of things. So, but
yeah. It might be a little more fun streams throughout the off seasons. The business Cowboys streams.
So yes, I feel like Summer Olympic coverage 2 years from now definitely falls under that.
Yeah.
But Aztec Aguilar, so ending talking about Nalgas. The only way to end it.
That's
Luis Ortiz, take it easy, much love. We have Julian in the house. Of course, Tex 2005.
Yeah.
Pat Pfeiffer, the champ, Beetlejuice, Citizen Z.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Of course, I have the hiccups now. Rolling back a little bit, I just want to make sure I shout out everyone who is here, was here. Way up, dude. Kenzie Bands, of course, a very happy birthday to Kenzie Bands.
Happy birthday, Kenzie, yes. Another
we have Jeremy Betts in the house, Sky Johnson.
Jeremy Sky in the
Football
house.
Fanatic.
Yeah. FF.
Let me see. Yeah, it doesn't let me go back any further than that. So, again, huge shout out to everybody here.
Yeah.
But what is the reason? Why are we here? And why do we do what we
Super Bowl 60, and this is what we do it for. It's about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star of everything. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly for our team. And it's been an ugly season in 2025, but hopefully in 2026, we have that chance for 6 and beyond. But hey, no matter what, we're repping that star over everything here on My Cowboys Family. Doing this is finishing our 9th season of doing these live, let's say this is not a live reaction stream, but of doing live reactions for the season for our Cowboys.
Game day reaction live stream.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but for this season, we had one actually. I forgot to mention, the last one we actually did. It was in the car on the road, but it didn't go through very well, so we just deleted it because it was not getting it was not a consistent signal coming in, so we had to just scrap it. But we apologize for that. We're here pretty much every single time. And this is completed our 9th season here on YouTube on My Cowboys Family. 8.5 years plus, almost 9 years on here on YouTube on this channel. Thank you guys. Can't do it without you all right here. But it's always about that star over everything, and never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and 26 and beyond.
Is this our year?
This one's ending today.
Yes.
The next stream will be our year, right? 6 and beyond.
Yes.
Thank you all for dropping in here. Thank you again to Pat Pfeiffer, Tex 2005, Citizen Z, JD Burton, Skeptical Fan, NDM Boogie. Thank you all repping the boards, dropping the love, the support. Can't do it without you all. We're back again soon. It might be during the night, it might be during the day. Leave that notification bell on to all videos, and we'll see you soon for any Cowboy news, info, and updates, or other fun stuff might be going down here on this channel as well. We'll see you soon, baby. I think we can call it off here. We'll be wearing this next time again. We got gear for years.
And apparently this is going to be my official uniform.
Yeah, for next season. It's the Brand Aubrey until he makes that 70-yarder, goddammit. Oh, shit. Shot count off the board. We got that off. We got the camera going off, guys. Peace and love. Thank you all. And, hey, look, check mark on our defensive coordinator. We'll see how this young guy does with the new defensive staff of 4 more guys we have there. We'll see if Jerry Jones is going to break out the bank and make a deal. After franchising tag, it's going to be official in a couple of weeks. But franchising tag, wide receiver George Pickens, he's going to be a Cowboy for at least 1 more year. Will we get a long-term deal? We'll see, Jerry. Pro Bowlers we talked about and the other awards and such. The Super Bowl here, LX, Super Bowl 60, Seattle Patriots. Congrats to both teams. Hopefully Seattle wins because we don't want the Patriots getting number 7. That would really suck. 2 away from the top team rather than 1 away for us. Either way, hopefully Seattle wins. But in the end, we're hoping that we're not rooting for anyone. We're rooting that the Patriots lose. But in the end, the thing we're hoping for the most is the Cowboys can get here and win that 6 and beyond. Hopefully, that's 6 in 2026 and beyond. Thank you all for rocking with us and dropping by here. Maybe before we can officially, shout everybody out in the chat here. We already did, but thank you all in the chat for dropping the knowledge all night long, all day long here in this stream, Super Bowl special stream. Thank you all dropping the love from above and helping out the channel. But before we can officially drop out for this evening, for this pre-game of the Super Bowl, enjoy the Super Bowl, guys. May the best team win. Hopefully Seattle. And we'll see you all for the 2026 season next time we go live here, My Cowboys Family. So we can drop out officially for this game, for this stream. Maybe what do we got to do before we drop out of here?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. Beat's been dropped. It's a wrap, not just on this stream or January, but of 2025-26 NFL season. Our Dallas Cowboys been out for a while. It is the official finale of the year right here. Even though it was a Super Bowl 60 pregame, we had a couple shots. Had a little fun. But it was still a Cowboys chat, baby. It always will be. Now and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Right here at MCF, it's about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star for everything. We can't do this without you guys. You're the biggest part of this whole channel. The family right here. MCF, you guys. Thank you all for hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe, hitting that notification bell, following us on Discord, all the different social media, at My Cowboys Family. Stay safe. Enjoy the Super Bowl. As we get ready for 2026, never forget these 2 words. Cowboys. Peace.
Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat.